watch Fantastic Beasts.
It's time for our 2024 Studio Gek Wrapped. Well, this year we had a new child. We welcomed a new child to the world, Cinema Gek.
I need my brain raw.
We welcome Cinema Gek to the world, so we have way more live action stuff now. Well, not way more, but considerably more.
Anything.
Live action stuff.
Guys.
So if you don't know, or if you're new, last year, and every year, at the end of the year, we just take all the shows that we watched, and we just put them in a tier list. We just personally rank them, and just talk about them a little bit. Obviously, we can't talk about all of them a lot. And obviously with 5 guys, like, the way that we rank is slightly different. So we'll, like, explain kind of how it works.
It's part of the human condition to love tier lists, okay? We all love them. We all look at them. We have 26 shows to go over.
I think we have
More now.
We have like 30 something.
29 shows. I'm pretty sure.
I have 31, but I added 2 that no one else will have.
Yeah, so we have 29 that we've all watched.
Yeah, last year, our video is still up from last year, and we'll keep them all up. I believe there's a playlist for these. We're going, like, we're keeping the shows from our last year's video, and we're adding the shows of 2024 into that tier list. And things can change, you know. Like
tier list. So
like last time there were a few shows that we were in the middle of, we weren't finished with. And so that's changed things. Like, obviously sometimes, like, opinions just change over time sometimes. So
well, and we literally, like, the endings are so important. So
yeah, recency bias is a huge thing. So we're just keeping it open.
A lot of
are open.
Yeah, we've had time to think and process, and the more shows you watch, the more you can be like, this stacks against this type.
Well,
thing.
yeah, and like the more you watch, you're like, dang, like,
gotta appreciate
it. Kind of, it changes how what you
watch
think
other
about.
shows, and it makes you miss another show.
Right.
I'm sure most of you know how tier lists work. Obviously, the way we're doing it, like around the same ballpark, all of us, is we have our S tier, which is, you know, the goat of goats. We have it around a 9.6, 9.7, up to a 10 is the S tier. Then the A plus tier, we had it, 9.3 to 9.7, 9.2
Yeah,
to
that's what I have,
9.7
at
in that
least.
range. And then we have our A tier, which is
9
to 9.4 for me.
9 to 9.4. Anything
9 to
below a
9.3.
9, we'd say is in the B tier.
Yeah.
8 to a 8.8, 8 to a 8.9 is B tier. And then obviously you have C and D tier. We've watched some, obviously on this channel we watch like very popular shows, very well-known, loved shows. So I doubt we're going to have a lot or any in the C tier, because all the shows we've watched have been good, at the least.
I mean, every show we've watched that I would put down there, we stopped. You know, like The Boys, Ninja Kamui, Avatar live action. I didn't even put those
are
on
all
there,
like
but those are
D,
just
C
trash.
tier.
Yeah,
No,
those are C.
So I don't think you're going to see a lot of C. I don't think anyone has a C tier, right?
I don't.
You do?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Oh, so Jack and Mac do.
I do, but
So
it
we're gonna
wasn't
start
B
with the
tier,
two
I
rats.
just moved it, so like there'd be.
But we're just going to go from the bottom
It's
tier.
just
So if there's a C tier, we're going to do Jack and Mac, and then we'll go up to the B tier, we'll do all 5 of us, and so on, all the way up to S tier.
We also have Bill Russell at the end of the couch. So
Jack
You
literally
always-
said, I put a show in C tier just to stretch it out. I'm like,
I mean,
okay.
yeah, it's honestly the bottom of B tier. It wasn't
Bro just
B
said,
tier,
you know
but-
what?
it's like
I
it
just-
borders on. Well, and think
It's
about it. The
average.
bottom of B tier
Dude,
is
this
an
is
8.
why I'm going to drop
Okay,
my
for me
ranking
it's
on
like
this show.
average.
Yeah,
Like-
the bottom
like
of
a-
B tier is an 8. An 8 is
The
still
show's
like
gonna
not
take-
bad. An 8 is
Yeah.
not a bad rating.
Like,
the
for
very
me-
bottom of B tier is an 8.
For me, when I think of C, it's like a 7.5. It's like average. It's passing, but it's not like.
So you have
it's
you have
a 7.5?
I mean, objectively, it's probably like right on the cusp of like B.
Okay, there you go.
Okay, what is?
Okay.
All right,
No,
let's
no, no.
let's start.
Start with
Let's
Bill
start.
Russell. This is the
Not
C
even,
tier.
not
Bill
even
Russell.
objectively. It's like I feel like people would be mad if I put this really, really low because they might love it. But like objectively, it's
What
not
the
the best
frick
show.
is this? What are you?
I don't
Are you
think
trying
you
to
guys-
justify
I
it,
don't
or are you
think,
just
no,
gonna
no.
say?
It was in B tier, but then I moved it to C. It's Chainsaw Man.
Okay.
Yeah, like that's not a super hot take.
I have 2 C tier shows.
What?
Oh wow.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I have
just
2
forgot
C
to
tier
mention
shows.
that.
God, Hakeem over here.
Well, then you should go.
My bottom is Demon Slayer in the C tier, and that was where it was last year. It's like a 7-9. It's like barely
Okay.
not the B tier. I think the Infinity Castle arc, whatever, like the finale, I think will bump it up just because like everybody knows like when Demon Slayer goes crazy, it's like peak animation, like some of the greatest animation like ever made, you know, and it's that's what it's for. And you get to those peak moments, but I think it's really lacking in a lot of ways.
My bottom of the ranking is Tokyo Ghoul, but I'm the only one that's seen it. But it's just, it's like, it's intriguing but boring.
I remember you had a heart fall off.
The adaptation's not very well done. So, bottom.
Okay.
And then
Anyone
the other
else?
one in my C tier is Chainsaw Man. Same thing. It's pretty much like I like Chainsaw Man a lot.
Yeah, it was a
It's
good
just
show.
like it's only 12 episodes. It's just there's not a lot out there yet.
Yeah,
it's just
I
not
could
adapted much, and so
I could
there's
see
just,
how
it'll
it could
go
go.
it'll go
Because
up
like the ending
probably.
seemed like it had some crazy potential
Yeah,
Yeah.
it'll
to
go
come,
up.
but like
I think Demon Slayer and Chainsaw Man will both go up over
Yeah.
time, but
Okay, so
not
we're on,
bad.
are we on to the B tier? The bottom of my entire list, which is pretty crazy, is Dan to Dan. Might be a hot take, but I have Dan to Dan at the bottom. It's a fun show. I have it like probably like a low 8, so I think it's really good. It's still fresh. It's one season, so yeah, it's good. It's good.
Mine is Dan to Dan as well. The bottom. Just need more.
At the bottom
9-8 wasn't good enough for you.
At the bottom of B tier, I have solo leveling. It's fun. It's really fun. It tickles that part of my brain. I love like that video
level
game
up.
level up type stuff. But and season 2 is coming around the corner.
Yes,
So
sir.
who knows what'll happen there?
All right, I had no C tiers, so the very bottom of my entire list at an 8-2, Demon Slayer. Pretty much had the same thoughts as Carter.
You're going twice, Bill.
yeah, bottom of my B tier is Dandadan. I do like the show a lot, but and it had some really good emotional beats, especially that one episode. But I don't know, it's good, but it's like it's not amazing per se, but it's still really good.
Yet.
Yeah, like it could pop off like to a crazy level, but it's really fun and enjoyable. And then after that or above that, I have Demon Slayer. So that's the
Nice.
middle of my B tier. Then I have one other show.
So it's pretty similar so far, but the second bottom of B tier at an 8-4 or 8-3 is Chainsaw Man for me. Makima still Nami though.
Okay.
Door.
That's how it got.
My next one is Dan to Dan as well. I really like the show, and yeah, like Jack said, I like especially the episode 7 is like phenomenal. I just think it might be still too early on, and yeah, nothing in the first not nothing, but yeah, the first bit that we've seen is good, and I think it has the potential to be great, but we're just not there yet.
The Last of Us. That was my next. I don't know. It's been a while. It's probably better than it. I'm giving it, but.
Okay, my next two are Chainsaw Man and The Last of Us. Both good shows. Last of Us was a long time ago. Cannon loved it. I thought it was good, but maybe it was great. Who knows? But I have it as the third to last.
Does it deserve a rewatch?
It probably does.
Definitely. I should probably watch it with Riley.
Lots of these need to rewatch.
My next is Erased. We watched that in the juicy tier.
That is an extremely hot take for me.
I know.
well, that's
That
a
is
lot.
extremely
I know
hot.
everyone liked it. I
crazy.
kind of missed some episodes and I was kind of out of it.
First hot take for me personally.
But it was a good show.
No, that's a hot take.
Like,
That's a hot take.
And
to
you
me,
won't be
too.
hearing a race from me for a while. Let me put
Yeah,
it that way.
no, me too.
Well, my next in the B tier, I'd say it's like near, like I don't know, somewhere in there is Naruto. We're like 70 episodes into Shippuden. It like has a lot of really good stuff, but at the same time it has a lot of really not good stuff. So it's just weird. And we also haven't hit the peak of Shippuden yet, which is like Brigand McKay's like thing they talk about all the time. So I guarantee like this will probably change like by next time I do this, but for now like OG and that, yeah, it's like a 8-4.
Dang. Why am I not hearing any hotness from over there?
Well, I think
It's
it's
just
valid
expected.
up until now. I think it's totally valid.
Okay.
That's how he feels, man.
Our lists are pretty similar so far, but things are gonna get shaken up. Don't you worry, because mine's Solo Leveling. I love Solo Leveling. Season 2's about to come out. Tune in for our reactions to that, because I mean, I still love the show. The action sequences are crazy, but just not connected to any of the characters yet, and that's big for me. So
That's fair.
This is my last one. The B tier is Kaiju.
Whoa.
Kaiju was really good, but it also felt kind of like a story we'd seen before, similar to AOT, but obviously it's not. Like, but it was really fun and it was really good. I really enjoyed it, but I think it has a lot more to come. Plus, it's not over yet, so it can definitely change. And then the bottom of my
No, that's it, bro. You're
right.
You're
Yeah.
silenced until we're done with the B tier.
Does anyone else have B
Do you
tier?
have like 40 in your A tier?
Jack, we have so many.
I have a
I'm
lot
not
of
even-
B
I'm
tiers.
not even halfway through my B.
yeah, I'm not halfway. I'm not even third with it. This is the third.
Yeah, I just felt like with B tiers, for me, it was like it had to have like not a major downside, but just be like
So everything from here
There's
on
a
out is like a
decent-
9 or over for you.
like kind of.
What do you mean?
It's okay.
Kind of?
It's
Like, I
okay.
feel
Just
like-
let Jack have
I
his.
feel like
okay.
a lot of my A tiers blend together,
Let Jack have his
and then A
great.
plus is like a good step above that. But like A, obviously A and B are a lot closer than like
Jack's
A
list
and
is
A
tie-dyed,
plus.
bro.
Jack is super.
Just let him have his tie-dyed list, okay?
I think my A's are pretty like
Okay. Let's move on.
understandable.
Oh,
I think they're pretty understandable.
Okay, so this is surprising even to me, but next in the B tier I have Invincible.
Shoot, I didn't put
I
that
didn't
in.
put
my-
Invincible.
Oh,
Dang
it.
No,
I know exactly where it's
I
going.
really
but
like
I didn't
Invincible.
throw it
Like
in.
I actually really love it. I love a lot of the music, and it just has such a good vibe. But yeah, I mean, to be honest, this is a fault of ours. We haven't finished season 2 yet, but we're going to catch up for season 3. So stay tuned to that. But Invincible's next for me.
My next up is Squid Game.
Hot for me.
And it's like the top of B tier, right? I would give my next two like the top of B tier. And it's like that's approaching effing 9. Like, bro, that is like high.
No,
like-
9 is high, bro.
Like that's it. Like the top of B tier, I think is like kind of underrated because it's like
100%.
it's like 8.5 to 9, like that. That's a decent rating. But yeah, Squid Game was like it was really quality, and it wasn't like the craziest thing like plot wise or character wise, but it had really good moments and it was done really well. I just think like it's lacking compared to certain other things higher.
I have One Punch Man next. That's probably hot, but I found season 2 to be better than season 1. Like I enjoyed it more, but then the end of season 2 really started to pick up for me. So I think season 3 could push it up to like A or A plus if they do it really well. But very enjoyable, but just a little bit lower for me.
Okay, my next is also Squid Game, which is I have like an 8.5, and part of it's because of the eating noises that took me out of it, and the VIPs. It's a really good show. I wouldn't call it peak. That's why I have an 8.5. Like it's really good, but it's not for me. It's not peak. And then I have Eva.
Oh, are you kidding me?
Eva like an 8.6. The ending was so weird
Oh.
and messed up, and I didn't get a good watch of it. Like we watched it in a very, like it was a very long watch.
If you're wondering where the heck it is, we watched it live over on Discord, but at the same time, like right in the middle of the watch, pretty much a lot of life events happened, and so it just kind of got
It was on
broken.
pause for a while.
Yeah, so it was a little scuffed.
Scuffed.
But the end, like we watched like the second half of the show like very consistently.
So I think a rewatch would do it more justice, but I have it like an 8.6.
Next is Chainsaw Man for me. I've watched it twice. I really enjoy it, but it's like 8.5, middle of the B.
Okay,
So.
nice.
The last one in my B tier is Kaiju. I really, really like it, and it's really fun. And just the other day, I was reminiscing about the outro song by One Republic. I love that song. It's a summer song, but I love the show too. Yeah, it's just like it's in a similar boat as Chainsaw Man, where I love what they've done so far, and I take the first 12 episodes of Kaiju over Chainsaw Man. But yeah, I just haven't seen enough yet to like launch it past like the top of B tier.
My next is Kaiju as well. I have Kaiju. I think Kaiju will shoot up after the next couple of seasons. They're setting up some good stuff.
I hope so.
It's great vibes, immaculate vibes.
Yeah, that's another thing I forgot to say. I feel like it has set itself up for a crazy amount of potential.
I hope it
love
reaches it. I love a lot of the characters in that show. Like the characters are stronger than the narrative right now, and the narrative will pick up. So then it'll be really good.
Only they were hinting at the narrative, like doing something crazy.
Well, do you have another B tier?
Oh yeah, Jack's done.
Hold on. Can I make a small audible?
Nope. Sure. Why not?
I moved the bottom 4 from my A tier.
Oh wow.
Oh,
because
that's not a small audible.
Okay,
it's like a big audible.
Because if A tier is like cut off at a 9, I feel like these don't really deserve to be an A tier.
Well, great.
Then go ahead. You got 2.
What?
Carver's gonna hate this.
Is it?
Eva.
Oh my H, dude.
I had just an A tier, but I'm with Brig. It was kind of weird. The watch was scuffed, but like I didn't necessarily love the show. It's not an A tier show for me. And then I had Invincible. And Invincible can change a lot. Like, yeah, we're not even done with the show, but like, it's definitely a good show, and I really liked it. And I'd seen it before we watched it.
Me too.
And I really liked it. So I'm hyped to see more of it. But,
nice.
Yeah, not quite A tier.
Next, I also have Eva.
Oh my gosh!
What Shinji did in that hospital room scarred me for life.
Oh my gosh, yeah, dude.
Facts.
That's accurate.
Facts.
That doesn't mean the show is
Was that
worse.
better or worse than Nina?
Oh, dude.
Worse.
I mean, Misato.
It doesn't mean the show is worse.
Dude, nothing worse.
Misato's still a baddie, but no, Eva.
worse than Nina.
It's just like what Briggs said. I need a very consistent watch through, very quick, to get a better opinion. However, Eva, I will say, it's one of those shows I watched hours of content afterwards just about Eva, trying to understand it better. And no shows really, well, it's very uncommon for shows to do that to me, where I literally go research the show afterwards. So props to Eva for that.
Well, Skip.
I, on the other hand,
I don't have any more B tiers.
Wow, I'm not even halfway through.
I'm the same, McCabe.
Squid
My
Game
gosh.
is my next. It's basically like top 5 still. And the first time I watched it during COVID, I didn't finish it, and so this watch was really fun. And there were some emotional scenes that I really enjoyed. But yeah, 8.5 for me.
My next, at an 8.7, is Death Note. I feel like everyone that's been around knows my thoughts on Death Note.
I'm just glad it's gone somewhere a little bit.
Yeah, I rewatched it recently with my cousin, and we stopped right where everyone else does, and it was great. Peak. So the peak is peak, but everyone knows the controversial part where some people feel the disconnect, some people don't. I felt the disconnect, so I have it 8.7. But I think if they did things differently, it could be like S tier. But for some people, it didn't disconnect them, and it's one of the goats, which I think is fine. But I have Death Note, and then the top of my B tier.
Number 1?
This is my last one.
Okay.
The top of my B tier, Kaiju. I kept wavering between the bottom of A, top of my B, but I decided that.
I feel like you're missing a show
What?
that I haven't heard.
What?
The dancing trash cans.
Oh. I did it a little better than B, but it was hovering. It was hovering for sure. But yeah, Kaiju. I think everyone's kind of spoken for it, so it's a great show. I think it can be borderline A, but we're missing more seasons, which are to come. So
Yeah, I got Kaiju as my next in B. Really excited for the next season, but I need to see more.
Alright. So I need to explain myself, because I guess I'm a B tier merchant. I have more B tiers than most. That doesn't mean I like them less. I think I'm just have them I just have A and up is just a cut above.
Well, it does mean you like them more.
Well, no, a lot of the times A tiers and stuff are finished. We've watched them all the way through, and so anyways. And with B tier, we're getting to the high point of B tier. So next in B tier for me at an 8.7 is Violet Evergarden. So we watched Violet Evergarden with our juicy patrons on Discord. The first 6, I would literally give a 6 out of 10. The first 6 episodes.
Gosh.
And the last 6, we're not finished yet. We have 2 episodes left. But the last 6 or so, have been absolutely phenomenal. Like I would give like over a 9. But when you take a 6 and a 9, no perversion there.
A 6 is so
Bro,
low.
the first, like,
I
okay,
agree.
like, I was not captivated by the story whatsoever or the characters at all at the beginning. And,
Jeez.
but, like I said, the last 6 have literally been, and there have been some, like, I would give one of the episodes a literal, like, 9.8, 9.9. So, it's cooking. The finale could bump it up, but for now it's at an 8.7 for me.
That is a huge anchor holding it down for.
Yes, yes.
That's
And I understand this is necessary in hindsight, but these are my, anyways, 8.7, Violet Evergarden.
And that's it. That's your B tier.
No, I still have 4 shows to go.
Holy dang.
It might be too.
Holy crap.
There's a lot of shows for me that teeter above like an 8.8 and an 8.9.
The last 2 I have in B tier are Squid Game, which is very good. Season 2 is still to come, so we'll see overall what it goes up to. And then One Punch Man. I love One Punch Man, but at the same time, like I think McKay said what I was thinking. Like, Season 2 wasn't the best, and that's for like obvious reasons, but it could also just extremely cook.
He said that he
That's
liked
not-
season
also-
2 better than season 1.
I said I liked season 2 more than 1, which is controversial.
Oh,
But then towards the end of season 2,
Well,
I thought it started to get really
McCast to
actually, you know what?
clarify himself.
My Season 2 watch was scuffed because I watched.
Jack was gaslighting right there.
I don't know. Season 2 was interesting. I guess Season 2 was good. Not better than Season 1, but better than Season 1 in some ways. But
Yeah.
the show just needs more.
Nice.
And it's not even over. So, like, it can change.
Does that round out your B tier then?
Yeah.
Nice. Next for me at an 8.7 is Naruto. Naruto is a roller coaster for me. Sometimes it's the only show I've ever fallen asleep on camera watching on Studio Gek history.
OG.
Yeah, during OG. But it's also I've almost cried at some moments so far. So, and I have no doubt, because like I like Naruto a little bit more than Carter does. I have no doubt that by the end of Shippuden it'll jump up for me. But for now it's at an 8.7.
So my next two, Soul Leveling, really fun. I love the fighting. I don't remember anybody's name.
I don't either.
And
Jin
then
Woo, that's it.
this is probably my hottest take is One Piece is next. But like One Piece could be my goat in 2 years. There's a, I mean,
See-
it's a lot of people's goat. So
It's
I
6
don't.
years, bro.
So its ceiling is very high, but right now it's.
McKay, I don't have that hot at all because my next is also One Piece at an 8.8. I think if you have One Piece right now over an 8.8, that's kind of crazy. Like,
Amazing.
yeah, like I think you're glazing if it's over an 8.8.
But
But
it's only fair for me to glaze it.
because like One Piece, it's kind of the same as Naruto. We're only 100 episodes in or whatever, which sounds crazy to say, but
We are in One Piece?
yeah, dude.
Yeah, we just barely
We're-
hit 100.
That's crazy, actually.
But like, and it's been so good. But like, there have been 2 arcs that I was slogging through. So yeah, it's like, but it's had emotional moments for sure. So One Piece is next for me, and then out of 8, these are 2 shows that are 8.9s for me, rounding out the top of B tier. The Last of Us, which I have pretty high. I love that show. And I guess I'll just round out the top of B tier, which is Death Note. I have Death Note at an 8.9. I love it. Falls off a little bit at the end. But
That's hot.
the more shows I watch, the more I just feel like didn't hit any emotional beats for me really, which is big to me, but I still like it.
My last two is Invincible. I love Invincible. Season 1 was sick. The end of season 1, and then season 2 had some good moments, but we obviously haven't finished it. And then the last in B tier is Death Note.
Nice.
Jeez.
1
As
through
it should
25
be.
is peak, and
As
then
it
the
should
rest
be.
Yeah, Death
you
Note's
let
so
a
debatable.
10-year-old kill our goat, but it's okay.
Am I just choosing to not even think about the last part while I'm reading it?
I just don't think the last part is as bad, like personally. But
No, I
For
had
me, it's more the middle end, not the very end.
I had Death Note in A last year. It went down with the more shows that we watched.
I mean, dude, 8.8 still really.
No, 8.9. It was 8.9 for me.
8.9
That's
high,
freaking
bro.
high,
Look
bro.
at-
Okay, the bottom of my A tier, which could be the top of my B tier, it's in the 8 to the 9 range, like borderline 9. I have Violet Evergarden. I think canon hit the nail on the head. I think the beginning was like it was fine. Like I didn't have a really strong connection to the show or like what was going on. The animation's insane. It's like the cleanest animation ever.
Literally the best animation
And
I've
the
ever
views,
seen.
like you can have like 1,000 wallpapers just from watching 5 episodes of that show. But it didn't start hitting for me until recently. Like the last few episodes have been like amazing. Like you'll cry and feel super depressed and happy at the same time.
Grateful.
But yeah, grateful. So yeah, like I think bottom of the A is fair, but I could see why people, like some people, maybe your mom or you're like, you know, you connect even deeper with some of the stuff that happens, and that could be your go. So
Violet Evergarden is like if a puppy was pregnant having a baby and I had to do a C-section to save the baby and the mom died. Like that's really how I'd describe it. So depressing, but so like so happy at the same time. You know what I mean?
wow.
Anyways,
No, it's interesting. I will say I'm surprised that like Violet Evergarden being like lower, not like low, but lower for you guys, because you guys are more like emotional like rankers, and that show's kind of just emotional period, you know. So it's interesting to me that it's
okay, but
not
I didn't
higher.
like the narrative, and it hit 0 emotional beats for the first 6 episodes. So like,
yeah, just I'm a little surprised.
Back.
I don't know why. This is a really bad take, but I put Chernobyl at the bottom.
Oh.
Of my A.
holy
I
frick!
mean, it's
yeah.
still A tier.
But like, I still think it's. I don't know. My A's kind of weird. Like, I feel like my A's can all kind of flip around. But yeah, Chernobyl's like probably one of the greatest. Like, objectively, it's like one of the greatest shows out there. But I did add like an emotional pull to my ranking, so I just have it at the bottom.
Yeah, that might be our biggest difference ever, McKay.
Yeah,
so
but
far.
like I do think it deserves like very high ratings. It's an insanely good show.
Yeah, at the bottom of my A tier is One Punch Man, and I am the exact opposite of everyone else on the couch. Well, I guess except Jack. I like the thing that's keeping it from being higher is the difference of season 1 and season 2. Season 1, I think for like what it is like it is so good, and season 2 like it cranks up the story a lot, but I just there's just such a difference between season 1 and 2 for me. Like, and I like where it's going for season 3 too, but like season 1, dude, that is a one of one like season to me. I'm like, that is like a quick like 12 episode animation masterpiece that's like also comedically, I don't laugh at like most things in anime, but like season 1 cracks me up. I think it does it so well.
By the way, I just thought about this. If you want to hear a more in-depth analysis on any of these shows, just go to our finale of like any of these shows, and we usually have like a 30-minute outro. Because like Carter talking about One Punch Man, it made me think we had a really good outro about One Punch Man on our finale. So
Yeah. So season 2 is weighing it down a bit for me. It would be higher, but still
Totally.
bottom of A tier.
all right, I think I'm the last remaining with the show. Bottom of A tier for me at a 9 flat is Squid Game. I really liked Squid Game. I'm really excited for season 2. Holy crap.
Me too.
Could be recency bias just a tiny bit. Like maybe it's an 8-9, but right now I have it at a 9 flat.
Well, the difference of 0.1. Like
No,
I
but
would-
it is
I
the
would-
difference of a tier.
Yeah, I would give it an 8.9 as well. Like it's like pretty much the same ranking.
But yeah, I mean, I really like Squid Game.
This,
Oh my god.
this is like a hot take for me, kind
This
of.
is taking years off of Jack's life.
No, this is like a hot take for me.
I always get
because-
scared.
Because I want to put this here, but I don't want to put this here. It's the bottom of my A tier, JJK. Because I do love the show, but at the same time, like the last season was so interesting. And I need to rewatch it probably because like obviously we watched it live, but has some crazy good moments, but then some like moments that I was like, I don't love that. Plus it was kind of all over the place, but I do love the show. Solo leveling.
In your
Wow.
A tier.
I would say these two are
Dang.
9. Like they're not
Wow.
any higher than that.
Dang. That's crazy.
And I loved Solo Leveling. It was
Yeah.
really good, but
I think
that's me and Jack's
Sorry.
first big difference.
Clearly, we're not done with that.
Everyone's mentioned solo leveling besides me.
Wow.
Wow.
Well, I am happy to announce that Erased is next for me at a 9-1. I effing love that show. I rewatched it right after we finished. I watched it twice in a row. I love the concept. It resonated with me. It was beautiful. And yeah, I loved Erased. Like Erased is another show that I feel like is a good gateway anime for maybe some
for sure,
people
100%.
that want to get into anime. And yeah, I just loved it. So
the next for me is The Last of Us, which I think is like in the A tier, the bottom of the A tier. I love The Last of Us, especially like there's always a weird little part of me that yearns for a survival story, and then you add in like the father-daughter storyline, and near the end of season 1 that was at like a really high peak. And so I really like it a lot, and I'm excited for season 2. But yeah, no, I don't know. I think it's just missing some things to take it higher, but I think it is a quality show.
dude, watching Gladiator 2 made me miss our goat Pedro so much. Seriously, over it.
My next in A is Demon Slayer, but I feel like Demon Slayer can be anywhere in the A tier for me, but like the best parts of Demon Slayer I always think about, and the worst parts, like yeah, there's bad parts, there's parts that are really boring, but like I think the best parts leave it in A, and I don't think the worst parts take it below A for me.
The second bottom of the A tier is, and it was hovering the top of the B tier, kind of like by the Evergarden, is One Piece. It's been really good, but I don't think it's. I see the potential, but it's just Naruto. You gotta witness it all before you can get a full evaluation.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I think an 8, 9, 9.0 is very fair.
With any show we haven't finished, you gotta take it with a grain of salt, in our
Exactly.
opinion.
Yeah, like last year I had Fullmetal and Hunter x Hunter in my B tier
Right.
because like we were like in the middle of it, so I was
Yeah.
like, I just.
So I think for 100 episodes,
good.
being in the A tier is impressive. So One Piece, I know One Piece will be legendary. And then I have Demon Slayer next. I like 9.1, 9.0. Just my gateway anime. The bad parts don't affect me as much as most people. I've watched this show like 30 times. I've watched Demon Slayer more than.
No, yeah,
You'd
you
be
can,
done
you
with
can
One Piece.
break and
I've
quote
watched it
the
with,
Japanese.
I can literally quote the Japanese. And they're like in everything. I've watched it with like 6 different individuals. We watched on the channel. Like I've seen that show so many times, and the best moments hit. Like that's why I have it that high. I could honestly put it higher and feel great about it. But we have a really good list. So
Eva's my not middle of A tier, but working towards A tier. And Eva was weird as F, and like our watch was scuffed, but like it was really unique and really interesting. And I don't think anyone's done an anime like Eva, so I think
that's true.
that gives it like a higher ranking. It was very unique. It was cool. It was interesting. So
Well, my next up is JJK. I love JJK. JJK is so good. And I think it's like similar as One Punch Man, but I just think overall better. And I like Shibuya arc, like Jack said, the peaks were like all-time peaks, but there's definitely some moments. Like I found myself wondering if I like Shibuya as a whole or Hidden Inventory as a whole more.
Yeah.
And then season 1 was just a solid season with great moments as well. But yeah, it's just like compared to like stuff that is gonna be like Game of Thrones, it's just like not comparable in that way. So, but it's still like I think the bottom of the A tier show. You know?
Nice.
Yeah.
hot,
Nice.
hot.
Bottom of the A tier.
What?
I think that's hot.
I think that is nice and just room temperature.
Scorching.
I
Not
next
scorching.
have One Punch Man. One Punch Man, my goat Garo. He's so freaking epic. I love him. And I'm so stoked for season 3. I'm just waiting for it. And I am probably like the closest. Like season 1 and season 2. I like them both for different reasons. Like literally different exact reasons, but they're both peak in different ways to me. So yeah, One Punch Man next. And I probably One Punch Man in that part of the list is probably a 9-1.
Is Naruto. That's mostly like OG, because that's what we've seen. But I can see it shooting up a lot with Shippuden, especially from what we've seen and what hopefully we're going to see. could shoot up a lot. Still a very good show. And then Violet Evergarden is next after that.
Nice.
Very good. I've liked most of the show. Yeah, I was a little slow in the beginning, but I still liked it. But I was like, where's this going? And then we've seen where it's going, and I think the changes that have happened have made it very, very good. And you can see where like the characters are going, the story's going.
Next for me is JJK. JJK, it is
It's hot.
It's phenomenal for what it is. Action, fighting,
phenomenal for
anime,
what it
power
is.
system.
Yes.
Gojo is an aura farmer, and I love him for it. Like he's definitely in my top 10 like favorite fictional characters probably ever. Like I love Gojo. I'm a Gojo Glazer.
Dang, that's pretty crazy.
He's probably at the bottom, but he's still there. And yeah, JJK, we've talked about it before. Storytelling is just kind of all over the place, and sometimes they explain things weird. Like they don't explain things enough, and then I don't know, expect you to kind of follow along without even telling you. So
This is just the end.
it has some issues, but I love it.
Maybe if we could read the manga, it'd be different. But
Oh, I forgot. It's me. Next up, I have Erased. I really like Erased. And I think Erased, it's weird. It's like it can never ever be higher than a low A tier show. But
Yep,
like
exactly.
it is still a very good quick watch, and especially if you like time travel. I don't know if I'm
You
like
can say
that.
that, it's
If you like time travel, I think you will even love the show even more, which I do. So yeah, I think it's really good. It's very limited because of what it is, but it is very good.
12 episodes of just straight like 9-1s.
That's fair.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's fair.
did you say it could never be higher? Than the
Yeah, it
Yeah,
could
it's
never
just
be
kinda
like
capped.
an A plus or
It's
an
kinda
S, but
capped.
like it can't be lower. I don't really feel.
If it's
either.
anyone's goat, you're weird.
Well, this is my hottest take against me because I used to have this as like my goat because of like the third anime I ever watched, but Fullmetal.
Just go. It's falling.
No, yeah, it made sense that it was my goat at the time.
My
It was like
hottest
it was like
take
the
against
third.
me.
It was like the third anime I watched. I was like, this is unreal. Like it was really good the
It was
first time I
McKay's
watched.
screensavers
But
lock
then
screen for the longest time.
We've watched like freaking 40 animes since then, and it's just slowly fallen. And the rewatch was really good, but like towards the end, I just didn't feel what I felt the first time, and I was trying to like, I was like trying to like, oh, like this is, I want that feeling back. But, like I just didn't, it just wasn't the same. So I felt better about other shows, and I've liked other shows more, and it's just sadly fallen from its graceful spot at number 1.
Well, guys, I think I'm having my first official scorching take. I think you guys are gonna be in an uproar at this. What would you guess
I'm
it is?
scared. Is it Vinland?
No,
Is it Cyberpunk?
no.
Okay, then I think we're okay.
I have it in my A tier.
Oh no, it's Avatar.
No, it's
Oh.
fourth
Oh,
on
I
my
didn't
A
even put
tier
Cyberpunk
out of
in
like 10. So I have it at like a 9.3.
It's House of the Dragon.
House of the
Oh, frick, I knew
House of the Dragon.
it! You need a rewatch, buddy.
I-
You need it.
I
You
probably
do.
no, I probably do. And that's literally what I was gonna say. I need a rewatch, but I think it's because we watched that for the first time ever. No lore, nothing. Had no idea about any of the Game of Thrones world.
Oh yeah, it takes
And
it to
then
a higher level.
We watched Game of Thrones right after, and Game of Thrones is like in my goat tier. Spoiler. So, like for me, I just have it like whatever it is in my head right now. It's just not. It's not quite
Man.
there with Game of Thrones. So it could change with the rewatch. But
Dude, it
as of
will.
right now, I really liked it. Like a 9.2 is freaking high. But compared to the other shows, I just couldn't put. And it might be a little low. Like my next is Erased. I don't think I'd put Erased over that. Like what if I could shuffle my list.
Yeah.
But I would probably put House of the Dragon over Erased if I could do this. But it's like in the same ballpark. Like Erased, you guys talked about it. It's consistently extremely good, but there's nothing about it that's gonna make it anywhere higher. But it's a must watch for sure. And it's so quick.
With his hot
Gosh, my A tier is just getting messy, but Haikyuu in the middle of A tier. I was the biggest hater the first couple episodes, but like Haikyuu could be A plus by the end. I think it will be. Like if they
Better
keep
be.
cooking the way they're cooking, but we're not finished, and I'm gonna leave it where it is. And yeah, I love Haikyuu. I love it.
Get him. My next is One Piece.
You have it, you're in.
I love One Piece, and I have never been gaslit more in my life than with One Piece because
That's not true, but
with what?
Attack on Titan.
Oh, maybe. But I was convinced because of everyone said it takes 500 episodes to get good. I was convinced that I was gonna hate my life for like a long time.
That's the biggest lie.
It's the biggest lie it's the biggest lie of all time. It's like just straight up not true. And like I think that like obviously like One Piece, I it's weird because I'm like a very objective person, and I like One Piece has like a lot of flaws. So I don't know genuinely how much higher it can go because like I'm not one of those guys where like you just watch something for so long and like that in of itself like raises the bar. You know, like if it gets better, it gets better, and if it doesn't, it doesn't. Like if I watch it for 700 episodes and it's around where the same place it's at right now, then that's what it is. But like, so I don't know how much higher it can really go. But
You're gonna laugh at this in the year.
maybe I will.
I bet it can go to your A+.
Maybe I will. I just One Piece has been way better in so many ways. Like especially the writing, dude. The writing and the dialogue is actually really like pretty good in One Piece. Like it doesn't really, I don't know, but yeah, it's been the biggest shock so far of the year for me.
Well, Briggs is gonna tell you to get him, but Haikyuu is next for me as well.
Get him.
It's probably at like a 9. Haikyuu right now is at like a 9.3. Yeah, probably like a 9.3. So, and I love it.
Is this the top of your A tier?
Well, the top of my A tier is kind of all 9.3, but
Yeah.
if I want to get into like 9.35, 9.36, but Haikyuu is it's so good. I love
that's
it.
fair. Top of the A tier is honestly not that hot.
Yeah.
It's whatever.
I feel like the music. That's one thing Haikyuu lacks. Like the music can be good, and it can be like hype, but if you ask me to sing a melody or like hum a melody from Haikyuu right now, can't do it.
I think if there was
I can
music,
hear it in
would
my
take
head.
away from what you're trying to focus on,
Dun,
which is like
Dun, dun,
the
dun, dun.
dialogue.
Little-
The mid card. I guess Brig got me.
I don't think the music.
I can like hear the
matters as
music in
much.
my head, but I don't think I can replicate it.
That's what I'm saying. Music's big to me.
Alright,
Russell.
Okay, these are the last two of my A tier,
Bill.
which I'd say these are both 9.4s.
Silence.
Yeah. I'd say most of my A pluses are actually
Why
like
did I-
on the same like spectrum.
Bro has 12.
Okay, it's Shogun and The Last of Us.
Okay.
Both very good shows.
Jack's
I'd
the
say
hottest
around
on
the
The
same
Last of
level.
Us.
My Last of
Wow.
Us is
The Last of Us is high.
I'd say yeah, I really
No!
enjoyed that.
Yeah, I love that, Jack.
I love the watch.
I love The
the
Last
watch
of
was
Us.
so fun. We weren't watching
It
probably
was
as much stuff
fun.
around that time.
I rewatched the pilot like 3
Yeah,
weeks
it was
ago.
really
It's
good.
unreal.
This is really good. I'm gonna make a rewatch list right now.
Yeah, and yeah, that's the cap of my A tier, like 9.4s.
Nice, dude.
9.4,
Solid.
9.49, I guess.
Next for me is Fullmetal. This made a big jump from when we finished it, from last year in the B tier, because I had Fullmetal at a 9.3 as well. Fullmetal is another show that's kind of like a race to me, where everything, I think, literally every single thing about it is A tier, but none of it is S tier to me. Like not one aspect of it is S tier to me.
Music is S tier.
I don't agree. I think the music's A
Music was
tier.
Goated.
Music is S tier.
Music's probably A plus. The only thing about Full Metal that is S plus is how unique it is, and I'll say that there's no show that's like it, and so it's the only thing that's S tier, but everything else is
I
A.
love that one. It's unique world.
Good. My next is Violet Evergarden. Am I the last one to say that?
You might
I
be.
think so.
Listen, so Violet Evergarden, I agree with all of you guys with your like takes. For me, I just think that the first 6 episodes are way better than you guys think. That's all.
Yeah.
Like I think that the latter half of the show has been going so hard, and I have been way more invested. But I do think like the beginning is still like really good, like writing wise and all of that stuff. And
Man,
that's
you were
like
always a fan.
that one, yeah. And it's like it's funny because like that was like I don't know, like it was weird. Like amongst us 5, it seemed like it was weird that I was like liking it by like episode 4. You guys were like, what?
I liked the show, but I didn't love it.
Yeah.
I'm like a
I
writing.
wasn't locked in, man.
What?
I wasn't locked in.
I'm like a writing snob, and I think that it does. I think it's written very, very well, and then like the emotion just packs in the second half of the
The
season.
emotion is
So
literally prime Mike Tyson.
yeah, so I think it's really good. Like they said, best like still animation of all time. Gotta be, has to be. I don't know.
Yeah,
Like,
literally.
obviously, it's not like Demon Slayer fluidity and all that, but like it's
just
still
so
frame
much
like the
effort.
just every second of it is like, bro, this looks
Yeah,
so
they put
good.
so
No,
much
it's kinda like
effort and
Arcane in
love
that
into the
way.
show.
Code Geass. Towards, I'm getting to the top of my A tier. Yeah, Code Geass. I think all of us enjoyed Code Geass. I think all of us will have it around A or A plus. But and the ending was unreal. But like it was like a lot. The entire show was a lot, and it was good. But like it, I think it could use some more episodes or a lot of episodes to explain what was going on. But really good show. A tier.
Okay, I'm in the middle of my A tier. I got Shogun.
That's fair.
Probably in like the 9-2 area. Great show. One of the better live actions we've seen. It just was lacking. I don't know what it was lacking, but it was lacking something to make it like S
The
tier.
ending was a little
I think-
odd too.
I think it was just, dude, I don't know how to explain it, but it just didn't, it just wasn't like goated for me. But it was objectively like a very, very high quality show. That's why
Yeah,
obviously
like won like 20 Emmys.
wins all those awards for a reason. I totally think that's fair. But I don't know if it's like the characters, but it's not like Game of Thrones level, dark level
Yeah.
live action for me. So I just have it at the middle of the A tier. I have Solo Leveling.
That is
That's
so
high in my
high.
opinion.
I have
But
Solo
I don't
Leveling
know,
at
I
a
mean-
9-2.
No, Solo Leveling's like you can really love
Dude,
that show.
Something
you know?
about that show just changed my brain chemistry, dude.
Well,
That-
We're all
that one
gamers
song-
too. We're all gamers on the
Dude,
couch.
when
So
that song came out, dude, that
you
one
could be
scene,
the devil.
dude, that like
that scene
when
was
I
so
when
good.
I first saw that, dude, holy
One of the
cow.
better scenes of the year.
Like
Yeah, best scenes of the year would actually be a really
had
fun
me
video. to
shaking in
make.
my boots, bro. So that scene alone, like, shot it up for me.
Or
So
like
I-
best reactions of the year would be good too.
That would be good.
That would be
a
on
little
there.
compilation.
That would be on there
No,
for sure.
definitely. So
I have Shogun as well.
Amen.
I copy and paste whatever Briggs said. I agree.
Amen.
You know Carter's got Shogun in the ass.
Oh, you know, dude, this little rat. Didn't even like the
Are you
show.
done with A tier?
I love Shogun, dude.
We
Remember?
all love it.
That intro sound.
Are you done with Shogun?
The little sis.
Or sorry, are you done with A tier?
No.
Oh.
My next show is Death Note. I love Death Note. It does not fall off as hard as everyone says it does. I feel like it's so underrated that people. It's not even 40 episodes. Like you can watch like you can watch like one of the most goated like batches of anime, episodes 1 through 25, in like a small handful of hours.
If it's the same as oh wait no.
And it's like, bro, it takes you on like one of the most iconic journeys ever. And it's like that first 25 episodes is so good. It's like obviously the end isn't as good, isn't nearly as good as the beginning. I just don't feel like it falls off as hard. And like I think like the characters
That's
and the
fine.
idea and the writing, all of it, it's like so good. And it slips a bit in the end. But then the finale, bro, just freaking brings
I'm
it
honestly
back.
disappointed in you. It's only in your A tier, man.
See, I
Well,
think,
but
I
see-
think, dude, I think A plus is like the max.
A tier though, the thing is, Jack,
No,
I would
I'll
give Death
explain
Note a
some
freaking
things.
9.5.
I'll
I
explain
love
some
Death
things.
Note.
Yeah.
Like Death Note's like a 9.5.
Yeah, what?
No, it's not A+ for me.
Oh.
What?
What?
You have a
Yeah,
very
it's for
tight
me.
A plus.
Wait,
then.
you,
I have a
you
very-
said
5
your-
is A plus
You said
for me.
your S was 9.7. So what's your A plus? Literally 1.
No,
It's
A+.
9.6?
A+ to me is 9.6, 9.7,
Okay.
9.8 maybe. No, 9.6, 9.7. That's my A+.
Mine's like 9.5 to 9.7.
So I guess
It's a
just
very
tighter
tight-
at
it's a
the
very
top.
tight
Why
A
didn't you
plus.
set
Okay.
like? Now we're all over the place.
It's a, no, it's
Well,
okay.
but we already
though.
are. Like it's like my like
Because
my
it's still
rating.
in order, Brig. So
We already are all over the place. Like the reasons why the reasons why some of us like Death Note more than others is already different. And so
Wait,
it's like
is this your top A tier show?
top of the A tier,
Okay.
yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's totally fair.
listen,
And I understand why.
I feel
Yes.
disgusting right now because I realized I'm the Sanji of our crew.
You're totally the song.
Yeah, you are.
Because
Phileta-san!
next
Let me
on my list
Oh,
is
yeah.
Shogun.
Oh,
No, Shogun is next
Because
for
of,
me. Mariko-san.
like a song.
I miss Neil
and my man.
Yeah.
Engine or whatever. What's his name?
Anjin.
Anji. I miss
Anji-san.
dude, Toranaga is
Anjin
one
Tomo.
of
the best characters
And that actor,
of the year. For
love
me.
Toradora.
He was phenomenal. But yeah, Shogun is rounding out the top of A tier for me. Top 3 of A tier.
It's a really good show, dude.
It's very
It's
solid.
so
It's like for what it is, there's nothing wrong with it so far.
That's why we need to watch the last.
I just think we've witnessed a lot of peak this
Dude,
year.
we've witnessed so much peak.
That's just how it
Is my code?
You need to watch The Last Samurai. You guys will love it.
hot.
It's like Shogun.
Oh, is it me again? No, it's Jack.
It's me. Well, no, but I'm done with A tier. So.
Oh, you're done. Okay, then I'll. Okay, so to round out my A tier, these are top of the A tier 9-4 for me. Code Geass, which is like I absolutely loved Code Geass. I think it could use maybe 10 more episodes, just to help with the pacing a little bit. And yeah, the ending was one of the best endings of all time to me. Lelouch is
Can
My
we
facts,
confirm, spoilers, did he die or no? Lelouch.
Lelouch. I guess we.
The
don't
thing
know.
is,
okay, so this
if
is
he
what
didn't
I
die,
know.
it would
This is what I
ruin the
know.
ending.
The ending of his death in the show is supposed to be ambiguous. It's Inception. You're not. You're left to wonder: is he dead? Is he not? And then they made a movie where he is alive. But apparently
It's not
that
canon?
it's like not strictly canon, but it's interesting because the end of the show is ambiguous, and then the movie they make is he's alive. So it's like a lot of people think he's alive, but like
I'm gonna go with he's dead.
you
Yeah,
can, if it makes you
Lelouch
feel
is-
better, which it does to me, he's dead. But like
Lelouch
some people
is-
say he's alive.
Lelouch is literally my profile picture on Discord. Like I love Lelouch. I think he's very epic. And Valletta is mommy.
The next for I have is Code Geass as well, and I think Code Geass is very good. I think it like suffers from not. I don't know. I just think that it's such a crazy packed story. Lelouch is one of the best characters for sure, and the ending is very good. I don't know if I will say it's like the best of all time.
I didn't say the best. I said
No, I
one
know.
of the best.
I didn't say you said it. I'm
No,
just
you
saying
looked
that
right
that's-
at me, though.
That's like the general consensus. People say best ending of all time. I don't know if I don't know if I'm there, but the ending definitely was really good. I just feel like the beginning of the show, I got super invested, and then like around the middle, I got a little lost in the sauce a bit. Things kind of got a little like repetitive, a tiny bit, but like the stakes were always different, and that's what makes the encounters different. But then I feel like the stakes didn't have enough time to be explained properly, and I think that's from talking with people on the Patreon. It seems to be like, oh, yeah, definitely had to like
Carter also has a picture of Rolo on his ceiling when he wakes
love
up.
Rolo. Rolo, most underrated character.
Oh my gosh. Solo go.
Are you done with A tier?
No, I have 3 left.
Coder, I thought you said Dark was the top of your A tier.
House of the Dragon.
Or I mean Death Note.
House of the Dragon is my next, and because like when we watched the first season, like I hadn't seen Game of Thrones since high school, so like hearing the intro like gave me goosebumps and like
Noodles?
Noodles, and that first season was great. It was perfect. But then the second season, like we all
Fell off
have our
bad,
gripes,
dude.
and, so like it still reminds me of Game of Thrones, and it's still well done, and I want more content, but
Season 1 was peak.
season
bro.
2 definitely hurt it. It should be an A+ or S, but season 2 hurt. So
Dude, no lie.
Vinland.
Whoa!
Vinland.
Oh!
All right.
Oh my
I
gosh!
don't know if I need to explain.
The hottest
it.
take I've ever seen.
It is a
Heard in my
hard
life.
and I'm sorry, but it's just I think
Don't
I
apologize.
I
You know
think
what?
I need a rewatch.
Stand
I
on
think I
it.
do.
After
No, I
this,
think I do,
McKay is no longer going to be on
because
the
we've
channel
watched a
because he's
lot
going to
of
be dead.
shows since we watched Vinland, and I think it can move up for sure. But it's been a very long time,
disappointed.
and I love Vinland.
I'm disappointed
I
in
would
my
watch it
blood.
I would watch Vinland anywhere, anytime, but right now it's where it is.
Should I just finish off mine? I have 3 left.
Sure. Because I have one
gotta
more. Carter has 2 more.
2.
I have 3
I have
more.
one more.
Or I have 4 more.
Oh my gosh.
No, you have 3.
Okay, number 3, I have One Punch Man.
Nice.
One of the first. It's one of the
up
first
there.
animes I ever watched.
Watch Fantastic
Okay.
Beasts there.
It actually.
Me and Brig binged the whole first season together, all in one sitting.
It's another show I've watched like probably 6 times. I I think technically this was actually my gateway anime. I watched part of it with my cousin, and then I watched Demon Slayer in its entirety first. So it's like one of the first shows I ever watched in like my whole anime journey.
It's a great gateway. Great gateway.
It's a great gateway. It's funny. It's simple. Like, it's a great anime, but there's just not like it didn't alter my brain chemistry like some of the shows higher up, dude. So, like, I feel like a high A tier is pretty fair. And then I have at number 2, Fullmetal Alchemist. Number 1 in the A tier, Code Geass. Wow. And I think we said in the outro, I think we all agreed, like the ending of Code Geass put it over Fullmetal for me. The ending of Code Geass was amazing. Yeah. Lelouch is dead.
He's dead.
And that was a masterpiece.
We don't know for sure.
Lelouch is dead.
We don't know.
And Fullmetal, the ending kind of threw me out of it a little bit. I was like, there was a point in the middle of Fullmetal I was like itching for. I love Fullmetal. I love the music. I love like the way it was going. And then it just kind of like Eva just like it was just a little too much for me. Too much like I don't even know what was happening at some points. Like just pure chaos, like global, like billions of souls and like it was just like for me it wasn't like just oh my gosh this is a masterpiece. I think if Fullmetal had a better ending. Like, and it's just this for me. Some people might not be that way, but for me, if it had a different ending, it could be like an A+ S tier for me. But it just didn't. So that's the end of my A tier.
Brig, I agree with you, and I hate how when sometimes you say that to people, they're like, you just don't understand it. I'm like, bro, it's like my friend Toby. He says that Fullmetal is the best ending of all time, and I'm like, bro.
It's like I understand it, but it just didn't hit for me. Right. All the like crazy tentacles
I think I think
and
it's because like it's why I think there's such a drastic difference for Eva between at least like me and I guess you. I'll just talk to you because like it's consistent. Like when it gets to that point, you're kind of like it gets too out of control for sure.
Yeah, and like maybe if I rewatch it a couple times, like I would understand it better to say, or like I'm used I expect it coming, so then I don't like it doesn't throw me out, and maybe it gets better. But for me, there are better shows we've seen. So that's the end of my A tier.
Nice.
My last in A is JJK.
Totally fair.
Yeah, I mean, I look forward to JJK Thursdays for like an entire year, and like that added to it. But I know the storytelling's kind of mid, and I know that the emotional aspect isn't as proficient. But I also thought that like the last season that we watched was incredible, and I know it was a whole fighting arc, which we love.
Mr. Transformer.
But like,
right
yeah,
there.
but I also thought like it was really well done. I didn't think there was like, I thought it was peak after peak after peak, and that's hard to do even with.
Oh, that's true.
An emotional show.
And that could have
as an emotional
been better.
show, and it was great. I thought it was I thought it's top of A. It's my last A.
Nice.
Yeah. See, I do have 4 left in A tier.
Holy frick. Cook I don't know. Cook all of them. Yeah, it's just...
My next in A tier is Fullmetal, which I really like, and it's jumped substantially since our last video. I think I did have it in the B tier in the last video, which we were like early on. And yeah, I think that me and Cannon pretty much have the exact same opinion on it. Like, except the music. I think the music is like, I randomly listen to the music more than you guys would think. Like, and it's not like a lot, but it's definitely every here and there. I'm like, I want to listen to some Fullmetal music, and I throw it on,
dude.
dude.
We can make a little playlist, a gay playlist of all.
Yeah,
that'd be fire.
Fullmetal soundtrack is like one of the best. But yeah, no, I think everything about Fullmetal is extremely good, and that's what the top of A tier is to me. But and it edges out Death Note and Code Geass, but
really,
yes, because I have it higher than them, and
that is true.
But yeah, it's just weird. I just think that all of it is just like super solid all around, and I know that some people like they think that, and it's just like higher, but like for me, it was really, really great.
Yeah, I feel like they just go hand in hand. Code Geass and Fullmetal.
They're very
for
comparable.
some reason,
They go blow for blow.
They just compare very
They
easily.
do, but they don't. It's so weird.
And I feel like everyone kind of has them in the same. They're always like right there with each other. Some people have it higher than the other, but They're in the same ballpark.
One of them has absolute baddies, and one of them doesn't.
I will say too, I genuinely do think this. I think that the dub did hinder it a bit for
that
me.
might be true too.
Because when I like
Yeah, I
just now when I thought about Fullmetal, I thought about like Ed's like kind of whiny voice, like brother. Yeah, I just yeah. Ed's like,
don't touch my brother.
it's like you wanna go? Like I like.
Yeah, but then some of the voices are so good. Mustache.
No,
Scar.
some of the like some of the dub voices are so good, but the ones that you hear the most, like Ed and I think that really did actually hinder it for me a bit.
Freaking gluttony, bro. His is so bad.
Yeah.
Like, dude, some of these
These
guys.
two is a little interesting.
So like he sounded like a little goblin dude, MD.
Yeah, so I think if I watched it in sub, I genuinely think it actually could
really
be like A+ tier because it hits all the
Big
marks,
caveat,
but
we gotta rewatch it.
yeah, I do.
Big caveat. All right, do another one.
And then
Another.
Shogun. I love Shogun. Shogun's so good. Deserves all the success it got at the award ceremonies. I think, part of it, the reason why it's not higher, because like, I do think objectively it like is higher, but like I think part of the reason why is because it's fairly short, and sometimes that works and sometimes it doesn't. And I feel like with Shogun, it was so corruption plot level heavy, you know, that I don't feel like we got to see like a really good arc with Anji, but and then Toranaga also, but I do think that sometimes like it just didn't seem like we had quite enough time to see everything to its fullest potential. But at the same time, if there is a season 2, which I think there is,
There might
like
there will be.
Shogun could go to A+ tier easily.
I also
So-
feel like on this couch we're pretty biased towards like sci-fi, fantasy, more like
Oh yeah, and I did say this
fictional-
during the
Yeah.
watch. I did say this.
Oh.
I think that Shogun could easily be like up there with Chernobyl and that stuff, like for like a historian or like a history nut, you know. Like I think that like it could easily be up there because that's why it won so many awards, because it's genuinely like that good. But yeah, no, I'm not like much of a history guy, so
Like I don't know what more. I don't know if you feel the same way. I don't know what more they could have done. You know what I
And
mean?
it was based off of something that already existed. Like they could.
Besides it maybe being a little longer, like I don't know what more they could have done in those. Was it 2 seasons or was it 1?
One.
In that
Well-
1 season to like
yeah.
have it be in the same ballpark as Game of Thrones first season or something like
No,
that.
yeah.
Like, I just don't know, and I think it's just because I personally like more fantasy stuff. Even though Game of Thrones is realistic, there's still like magic and fantasy. It's like a whole new world. Like this one's more like history. It's like it's Portugal.
Yeah, but then think about our goat. One of our goats.
But that's just like, bro, we're just talking about like a unicorn. A unicorn. Okay, anyway, sorry. I interrupted.
No, I like being interrupted. Like
Don't you,
stuff
don't
like
you
that.
kinda
Okay,
feel the
Kenny,
same
go.
way, though?
Like no, like when we're talking about like takes and stuff, I'm all about it. Yeah, I feel exactly the same
Sometimes,
way.
it just
I do
depends
feel
on
the
you.
same
Well, like
way.
if someone said Shogun's my goat, like I would be like, that's fine. Like
It would kind of just tell you something about them.
Yeah, it
like,
kinda
okay,
tells
yeah,
you, like,
like,
what
I know
your
what they
taste is.
appreciate. Yep.
Like I bet Game of Thrones isn't your goat. Like you know what I mean? It's probably like Game of Thrones is probably in some people's. No, that's crazy. It's very easy.
But
Never mind.
so should I do one and then you do 2
Yeah,
more?
just do one, I guess.
The very top of my A tier, 9.4, a very high 9.4, is House of the Dragon. Me and Carter have been rewatching it with his wife and her friend. It is literally peak. Everything about that show is unreal. And even season 2 is better on a rewatch than it was when we felt. It was Blue Balls sucked.
Post Game of
We
Thrones.
felt it for a bit, you know. But expecting what was coming, and then watching it made it a lot better. But season 1, holy frick! Season 1 is literally
it's so good.
peak. It's true, dude.
Season 1 was really good.
And you're so it's just
I'm
my
done
last
with
2.
A tier,
Okay,
yeah.
my last 2 is House of the Dragon, and then Hunter x Hunter. House of the Dragon is like Cannon said. It's pretty much just what Cannon said. I just think that season 2 deserves criticism, but I think the criticism went way too far.
Oh, way too far.
Like way too far. And I do think that it's just a setup season, but it's still a really good setup season. For House of the Dragon season 2 to have the second lowest rated episode in Game of Thrones history is just beyond
preposterous.
But yeah, and then Hunter x Hunter made the biggest jump in my whole list.
A tier scorching hot.
Top of A tier, dude.
Scorching hot.
How's that scorching? I think that Hunter.
I'm starting to sweat.
Like a 9.4.
Hunter, top of A tier, so it's like a 9, like a 9.4, 9.5 to me.
For Carter, that's pretty dang good.
Yeah, like Hunter, it's well documented. Like my gripes with Hunter, which I think it has some, but over the year, like rewatching bits of it, and then actually finishing the Chimera Ant arc. Like the Chimera Ant arc was weird because it was like poorly paced and it had some questionable decisions, but it did build up to like an insane, like one of the greatest like peaks for sure. And then it petered out with the last arc, and that was sad. But it made a huge jump for me personally. I think it actually is like a really, really good anime. I don't think it's like as good as the other things, but there's not many anime I have above it, so.
Should we go to Jack or Brig? What side of the pendulum?
Let's go with me.
I guess Jack's been silent for a while.
Yeah.
After I silenced
I've
you.
just been sitting here.
Jack has 34 A pluses as well.
No, I don't have that many. I feel like my A pluses, I've been sitting here thinking they're all like, except for the top 2 because we haven't finished them, or they're not like finished. I think most of them are all like 9.5s to 9.6.
Like they're low A pluses.
They're all they're not low, but they're all like
lower.
They're all very good, but they're all like slightly flawed.
That's the same with me. 9.5,
And
9.6.
you guys
That's
know
what A plus is for me.
So the first one's Fullmetal, very, very good. I love the show. I think a rewatch in sub would be epic. And I think just a rewatch in general would be really good. Very good show. Loved watching it. And then Hunter x Hunter, really, really good. The biggest flaw I think with it is kind of the end, but also the fact that it's just not even finished. Like I'm gonna go find that.
Tagashi.
I'm
Jack's beef with the.
I have serious.
Dude, no, Jack does
Finish
not
your
give a
dang
frick
manga,
about his
bro.
problems. Like,
Jack is.
you know what? Have that same energy for George,
Dude,
bro. George,
I don't even want to hear it.
Bro, why
Oda
is George,
Sensei is goated, bro.
why is
Oda
why is
Sensei?
George off your list?
George R. R.
Yes, he should be on your list.
Not.
He's just
on
writing
here.
Elden Ring.
No, but
He's
I'm
on
saying like he should be on your hit list, like freaking Tagashi
I mean, yeah,
is.
he did
Well,
get back
he
over
kind of
it.
is, but at the same time, like the show.
They're making
No,
a new
the same.
Elden Ring.
There's like that's a different situation because Game of Thrones like did finish, but at the same time,
It did
I don't-
not finish at
I know,
all.
and
Jack,
it's trust me, it's on.
The
there.
Hunter
I'm
x
gonna
Hunter
talk
author,
about
bro, he
gonna
does
talk
whatever he
about it.
wants. That's what makes him.
I know,
go,
and I just can't
apparently.
piss
Wait, so are we doing 2 A pluses then?
Sure.
Well,
that wipes out half my list. Oh, you're right. Hunter x Hunter is A plus for me, 9.5.
Okay, so I was one spot different than you.
We
guys.
love
Wow.
Hunter.
To
Hunter's goated.
this
I was
day,
one spot.
A tier's disrespect.
One spot
to
different.
this day, I thought that what I had said would age a little bit like milk, but no, it hasn't.
It's so good.
The 131, the first 5 minutes, I think is my favorite 5 minutes of anime I've ever watched, ever. So I think it's the most shook I've ever been. Yeah, no, that like it. I had emotions I've never felt. It was like I can't even tell you what they were, but they were there. They were big.
As an anime person, or if you watch anime, I feel like that's a must watch.
No, yeah,
Oh,
like, you have
100%.
to.
You
It's
haven't
so good.
truly watched, like, witnessed anime unless you've seen certain moments, and that's one of them.
Also, this is really, really, really hot, I think, to the left side of the couch. But to this point, I like the Phantom Troop more than the Akatsuki. Like, I think the Phantom Troop
not-
is...
That's not hot at all. You've only met, like... Yeah, that's not hot at all. I don't think.
Okay, because, like, I always see, like, oh, the Akatsuki are, like, number one of all
A
the
lot of people
groups
like
and
the
all this
Phantom
stuff.
Troop
But,
more
like,
than Akatsuki.
dude, the Phantom Troop is so sick. Like, I
Frollo,
love
dude.
that.
Frollo is him.
Phantom Troop is sick, dude. Like, if I were in your shoes, I wouldn't have the Akatsuki over the Phantom Troop yet.
Yeah, okay. And yeah, we're not even close to being done with
I agree
Shippuden.
with
But, yeah, Hunter x Hunter is just peak. Like, I love it.
See, that's the thing.
Vibes.
I can't call it has peaks, but I can't call it like just peak. Though. Like,
Dude, any show that's a 9.5 is peak. like Jack said, it's a must watch. Like if you like anime and you haven't
It is
seen
still
it, that's like
flawed.
a sin.
It's still flawed, but it's
Yeah,
a must.
and that's the thing. That was always the thing.
Well,
Like
hold
the
on.
flaws of it
5 minutes
always
on.
just glared off to me more.
I don't think it like
that's all.
glare. I don't think it's glaring. No,
I only have
It
4
glares-
shows.
it
glare
glares
is the
to
right
me.
word for me. Like, yeah, it does off-put it, but the whole show is totally worth watching.
One thing
Despite
I will
some
say about
things.
Hunter x Hunter though that has gone up 1,000,000,000% is the freaking power system, dude. Like
Oh, dude, yeah.
the power system when they
So
said it's the
good.
best, I like didn't really grasp it because like we'd only really seen like JJK. Dude, it is
so sick.
it is by far the best. Like the Nen power system is like unreal. Sorry, anyways.
Well, it's just like so. It's
Oh,
like
it is
simple,
me.
but
Frick.
it's so good. Because then it's so varied.
And it's so like
It makes
structured.
sense,
Like
yeah, it makes
it's so
sense.
structured. Like you know exactly what's happening with your powers all the time, and it's like it's so structured.
Unless you're somebody.
Well, I guess.
I mean, it depends. Yeah, person to person, it's different. But then, like, yeah.
What the frick
you
are you
know-
talking about? You talking about
No, I'm
freaking
saying-
Wish Girl? What?
No, I'm saying the power system is very clear.
oh,
And, like,
Nanaka or whatever is the only.
Yeah,
Aluka
very-
is
that's what I
it's
thought
very
you were
clear,
talking
No,
and,
Aluka's
like, it's
yeah.
set.
I
But
started
then,
getting-
but then every character
good.
is very different because they're able to like. You
Well,
don't
yeah.
see you don't see someone with the same powers as someone
Very
else.
clear.
So that's what's really good about it. Is that it's very set and clear, but then everyone's different. I love it.
Dor, what was your A plus to the first A plus?
Anyway,
Oh.
My first A plus, Haikyuu. I
let's go.
love Haikyuu. Haikyuu, so good.
See,
I-
I can't put IQ about over Hunter x Hunter, but anyways.
I can
Blasphemy.
because Haikyuu doesn't have any glaring flaws to me. It has glaring things it's like missing, but because it never goes into it, it's not a flaw. Like it's like,
You can have a flaw of omission. Okay.
but I guess then no. See, compared to Hunter x Hunter, it's like it's like okay, it edged it out. Haikyuu is like One Piece. I don't know how much higher it can really go. I think it's pretty locked into where it is, like the bottom of the A plus tier, and that's because it's just so well done for what it is, and it's had some great moments. It's not like nothing about it, no character, no moment, no nothing is like in my top of the top, but it consistently is doing very well, and I love Haikyuu. So
Nice.
bottom of the A plus tier.
Nice.
This is my character development. This is bottom of A plus. It's Avatar, Last Airbender, and I was a hater when we watched it. And I'd seen it before. I'd seen
I
it
guess
like as a
that's fair.
kid, and then we watched it like 2 years or a year before. Kind of. I don't know if did we finish it? Yeah, we finished it. But no, the rewatch was great, and I'm like, I just have like a better understanding of the show. I had a lot of gripes in the first season, but like I understand why, and it's like I'm taking it as it is, and it's a phenomenal show, and it's done as well as you can do.
if anybody else
A
said
plus.
that, it would be a scorching hot. But for you,
No, yeah,
I'm very
I
proud
just,
of you, McKay.
I never had it as a goat before. I didn't really love it, and now I love it. So.
You haven't said Avatar yet either, have you? Wow,
That's crazy.
both of you guys. Nice.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Cook.
Sadly, that era is coming to an end.
Darn it.
At the bottom of A plus tier, I have Haikyuu and Avatar. Haikyuu has completely shocked me. I didn't think I would like it as much
Same.
as I have. It's just a very well made show. It hit the heartstrings. It's very relatable, especially as a former athlete. Like I've lived out how certain characters feel like a lot, like throughout my old journey that I had growing up. So that it's really fun to like kind of relive that, feel those, like relate with people. It's been super fun. I wish that it was longer. I wish that we got more.
Same.
I wish we just got more. Like, it could be like a 10-season show. It's kind of like almost like a reality TV show where you could just give us
Follows
They
as
can keep
go.
going.
like each season is like could just be a season, and like we get out of the 3 years, we get some college. Like I think they could have definitely done more, and it would have been like an S tier show for me. It could still be an S tier show when it's all said and done, but for right now, it's just like it's insanely good, but I can't put it above like some of the shows that are.
Yeah, like it's pretty. Yeah.
But like A plus is like I would have never thought Haikyuu be A plus. Like if you would
Tell
have
episodes 1
told
through
me
4.
I'm putting Haikyuu above like One Piece, Solo Leveling, One Piece, Solo Leveling, One Punch Man, Fullmetal, Code Geass, like over all these animes, that's pretty crazy. Like that's a crazy feat. So
Yeah.
and then Avatar, I feel like it should be higher, but for me, I'm kind of like Lord Shax with Avatar. I've just kind of like I've seen a lot of it recently, so I'm just kind of putting it to the side.
Huh?
Like I don't want to rewatch Avatar right now. I wouldn't want to like sit down and do a rewatch.
What does
Like-
that have to do with Lord Shax?
I've
seen enough.
I've seen it a lot recently that like
Oh, okay.
like it's a goated show. It is a little like the older I get, it is a little kiddish at times.
Oh, yeah.
But like it's fun and it's supposed to be kiddish, so it's not like a flaw. But like
Yeah.
I just think at this point in time, I have a couple shows that just have slightly above it. But I mean, I have it at like a 9.4, 9.5. Like it's peak, man. So
Nice.
Cyberpunk is I have 3 in my A+, and this is my second. I don't know if I need to explain why. It's one of
I have
the,
nine
it's one of
in
the
my A+.
shortest and greatest
Holy frick.
shows of all time.
How many are in S then? Only like 3?
5.
What?
I got my top 5.
Oh, you have 2 extra shows though.
True.
My next
Peaky
is Chernobyl. Chernobyl,
Chernobyl.
extremely
Dang.
good.
Kind of disappointed in you right
Yeah,
now.
wow.
It's
I'm
the A
surprised.
plus tier, and Chernobyl
Still,
is one of those things where it's
Plus
like
for you is, like,
it's
9
not
or
like the
6.
gap between these shows is not large. You know, and
Well,
it's-
I have something to
2
say
or
about
0.1.
Chernobyl too, so I'll
I
I'll
think
get there when I
Chernobyl
get
is a genuine masterpiece, and the only reason why it's not in the S tier is because, like I said, I'm not much of a history guy, and like I love that it exists, but
It's like your
I'm also a
favorite.
fantasy guy. Yeah, so it's like that's the part about me. This is like one of the like few things I feel like, or like Chernobyl. It's high up there, but I do anybody could tell me Chernobyl is better than a few of the shows I have above it, and I would agree. And it's not like the gap is that large, but I just think
It's
that
your enjoyment.
yeah, and that's the thing. I enjoyed Chernobyl a lot. I could sit down and watch Chernobyl right this second. But yeah, it's just it just barely gets beat out by other things for me personally. And I mean, it's still I think it's in my top 10.
I mean, dude, top 10. You can't get mad at someone at the top.
No, and it's like the
No,
gap's not large.
Chernobyl, I will say this. I'm not close to where I put Chernobyl, but it's my most conflicting take for sure. Within myself. It causes inner turmoil in me.
It made me feel things, but like not. It was weird. It made me feel things about my own life. It made me feel like happy and like blessed, you know. And it made me feel good about like I'm lucky to live, and at the time I do, and where I do, and all that stuff. So
My next in the A+ tier is Cyberpunk. It's my favorite. It's one of my favorite fictional worlds of all time. I have 100%ed the video game and the DLC. If I could have a Cyberpunk show that was at like 100 episodes long, I would love that. Yeah, I mean, I just love the characters in it too. Like everything about the music. Holy frick! I want to stay at your house. Like,
That was my number 2 song on my Apple Music. It's like
dude.
8,000 minutes.
Yeah, Cyberpunk is so peak. So that is like my next in the A+ tier. It's a 9.
Next, I have Code Geass. And
that is shocking. That you
Jeez.
have
No,
Code
I-
Geass
the
that
ending
high
really, really
for
brought it up.
yourself.
I think my only flaw with it was just the pacing.
I know. It just
Otherwise,
always seemed like you were the least
were
hot
very
on it
excited
on the
to
whole
watch it.
couch
I just-
all the time.
Oh, I love the show, but like, yeah, the pacing just kept getting to me, and that's why it's one of those like, that's why it's in this tier, it's like the flawed like
Jack has that
masterpiece.
post-show clarity.
But the ending really did bring it up like a ton, and I was so surprised they were able to pull that off with that little amount
They
of
did
like
do some
episodes.
crazy stuff.
And then Death Note. And Death Note, yeah, it's like,
Wow.
the ending is flawed. I love Death Note.
Shiz.
I love.
No.
Okay, no.
Good take.
No.
Good
I think
take.
it's Bill,
No,
but
no,
it's alright.
and
Good take.
And that's part of these like flawed masterpieces is because
Yes.
it's super, super good and I loved it. But then yeah, the ending did like bring it down a bit.
I think
Yes.
Because
Peter
it's not
loved
it's
that.
not
It
goated.
brings it down, but not as much as
It's
like
not
some
goaded.
people
It's
think.
not among I have so many shows above this.
Just say you and
Plus,
Sydney have been
yeah.
role playing Misa, bro. Come
A+
on.
is low key goated, bro.
No.
Yeah, it is.
A
low-key
plus
goated.
is definitely low key.
Death Note is low key
Like,
You're
goated.
telling me Larry Bird ain't goated?
Death Note is low key goated.
I don't think Haikyuu is goated.
Top 10 is goated.
Well,
You're a goat.
not
if you're
for
in
me.
Top 10.
not for me. Goat is too loose of a term these days.
Okay.
Goated, not the goat. Goated.
Yeah, goated.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Finance.
Anyways,
It's
okay.
goated.
Go ahead, Tanner.
This is my saddest ranking.
Wow, what a
Can I
You had to guess, what is
what a
it?
preamble. Probably Arcane.
Yeah, it's
No.
Arcane. Arcane is a 9.6 or 9.5. Last season had a lot of issues, unfortunately. And the more I think about it, yeah, the more I'm happy with it being a 9.5. I'm so excited for the new stuff, Swain and all that coming out. Yeah, just missed some beats.
Yeah, I mean, if anybody knows anything about me, to hammer it home, Arcane's next for me too. The A plus tier. Arcane for the longest time was like tied for my favorite show because of
Arguably
season
number one. Yeah.
Arguably number one, and I said I need to wait to see season 2. And I can confidently say, Arcane season 2 is the biggest like disappointment of my whole life. Like with watching anything, I can say that confidently. Like Arcane season 2 was still
What about Black
a good season. It was still a good season, and it's more so. It's not for like. It's not. It's for like how freaking unreal it was. It was genuinely like season 1. Still, I think is the best singular season of any show I've seen. And season 2, especially the end, like really, and like the more like I like after time I dive into it. I've been doing like, my classic deep dives. Like when there's something I really love, I really go deep into it. It just gets worse and worse. And season 2 did not stick the landing for me at all. I could go off for like 30 minutes about everything that I hate about it, but Arcane season 1 still.
You're doing your thing where this is literally a 9.5 and
Well,
you sound like you hate it.
It's
Like
more so
you're
like
doing
just
your-
it's more so like season
disappointment.
2, especially the end. But season 1 of Arcane is still like the masterpiece season, and that's why it's as high as it is. I still love the show though. It is like still one of my very favorite
It's
shows.
like Arcane was averaging 40 for a few years, but just didn't have the longevity to be a goat.
It's
It-
2018
it's-
James Harden.
I can't even. It would take too long for me to go into it.
Okay.
So yeah, that's my next one.
This is the end of my A plus, top of my A plus, Hunter x Hunter, and it should be in the S, and it was because I watched it. Me and Brig watched it about like at the same time, pretty much. I got to 131, or he finished it before me. I got to 131, I stopped, and it was like, holy hell, like this is unreal. And then we watched it, and then we got past 131, and I was disappointed. But I still loved everything that we watched up to
Election
131.
arc, bro.
Such a quick rewatch too.
And yeah, it was so fast, and it was
Sure
so
was.
like, and
We
there's
binge that show.
like I have problems with it, and it should be in my top 5, and it's not because of the last arc. Like it just bugged me for. I mean, it just like
McKay
it
was
really
raging.
It pissed me off for a long time. But then like the other day, I rewatched our reaction to 131, and I was getting chills. I'm like, okay, like this. I've been disrespecting it for a little too long. Like this show is peak. This show is insane. And like I was watching Canon too, like Canon's face when we watched 131
Bro.
the first 5 minutes because I remember you.
Remember
saying,
you guys went to get to the gas station right after, and I stayed home and I rewatched the episode.
like your face,
I was
you were. I've never seen you make that face before. And I was like,
Bro.
oh, this show.
It doesn't even sound like him. It sounds like
oh my god.
deeper.
So yeah, and I just remember the moments I watched it by myself. Like I was freaking out, and I was loving it. And I can't quite put it. There's so many good shows. I can't quite put it in the S, but it's top of A plus.
Okay, I think I'm gonna get some booze for this, but I have
Boo.
next on my list. I have Vinland.
Oh my age.
Well, no, that's A plus, right?
A plus.
Okay.
yeah.
That sounds good.
That's okay.
I think for me,
That's okay.
like, how do I say this? Like, from what season 1 was, I want more of what season one was. Like, I wish season 2 was like season 3. for some reason. Because I, like, just going into season 2, I wanted more freaking, like, Viking violence, like, crazy, like, warfare. Like, I wanted to see more of, like, the Nordic kind of... You know what I'm talking about? I wanted to see more of, like, these epic Nordic fights and then kind of the resolution of his character. Because it was an absolute masterpiece, like, season 2. A lot of, like... Obviously, we can go into depth about it. It was a masterpiece. Like, just an emotional masterpiece. But for some reason, like, I was just, like, I wanted more before the, like, resolution.
Did you just feel like you got rug pulled or something? Like, did you feel like you knew what you were getting yourself into and then you didn't?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, like, it just didn't, it wasn't what I expected, but not like a disappointing way, but just like, it just took a different turn than what I thought.
That's why expectations are dangerous, bro.
And Vinland,
they
like,
really
but it's not like they did anything wrong because it's a masterpiece, but for me, like, just, I would love to rewatch Vinland, and I'm sure it might.
It didn't do more of what you loved.
Yeah, or not even that I love, but what I, at the moment, was, like, wanting more of. Because I loved what did happen with the emotional pulls, but, like, season 1 was just so intriguing how, like, we were just getting introduced to, like, the Viking world and, like, the, you know, the Yom, what are they? The
Yom's Vikings.
Yom Vikings. Like, I wish we saw more of them and their warfare and just kind of, like, the conquest of the country. I kind of wanted more freaking fights, bro. And then, like, I just didn't get enough because now it's just straight, like, you know, peace, no fights. No,
I have
like,
no enemies.
So, for me, like, I still have it, like, super high, like, A+, 9.5, like, it's 9.6. It's a masterpiece, but there's just shows that I would put over. And then my next is Chernobyl. And, like, I think everyone's kind of, we've talked about Chernobyl. Why it's a masterpiece, but why, like, I wouldn't put it above. I got
Okay.
4 more.
I only have one more.
No, I have
A+.
5 more.
Holy,
See, I only have one more A+, okay?
I have
I
1,
could
2,
have
3,
4.
4, 5. I have 5 more in the A+.
holy
Jack.
frick.
I had 4 more.
Okay.
Yes.
That's so
Me and McKay are just
Cracking into my top 4 anime of all time, Neon Genesis. I freaking am obsessed with that show. I love that show. I get that the ending was weird for sure.
Carter likes grape.
The ending was definitely strange. Obviously, like, the strangeness wasn't the meaning. That wasn't the point. It wasn't like what it was telling. But many times throughout watching Neon Genesis, and if you're confused, like, where are the reactions? We watched them live on Discord with our.
We're gonna upload
Juicy
them one
tier.
day if you guguys comment enough to Carter. Flood his Instagram comments with.
And we might
this.
post just the movie here on YouTube. But yeah, I just every episode so meticulously well done, and just like it was so detailed, and there were so many things that I was just many times I was like, this show is so good. And then yeah, the ending was definitely like a bit controversial, not because of how good it is, but because of how weird it was, and that just didn't bother me at all. I definitely see why it would, but it didn't bother me at all. And I love that show so much. And I know there's actually a lot more to randomly see. There's a lot of like movies, but we've seen up until end of Evangelion, and I freaking love that show. So yeah, top 4 anime and top 7-ish show.
Well, I'll finish out my A+ tier then. Out of 9.6, very best of A tier. I have zero doubt. I literally have no doubt that this show will be S tier by the time it's done. Is Vinland Saga, which is funny because I acted like it was a hot take.
I was in my A+ tier. Is that messing things up?
No, we're in A+.
We're in A+.
I thought you were saying near the end of A tier.
It's at the end of A+.
Oh, okay.
I have no doubt that it'll be S. Yeah, no, Vinland is genuinely, like, I rewatched the first 5 episodes with one of my, like, adult cousins. He's never seen anime, and he absolutely loved it.
Dub or sub?
Sub.
Okay.
Made him
Of
watch sub.
course.
Oh, I watched.
Like, literally, that show is... I mean, everybody's already talked about it. It just is so freaking good, and it's actually, like, very impactful on your life if you actually internalize the message it's trying to tell you. So, a lot of
100%.
goated characters as well. I loved season 1 and season 2. Probably, like, the same, just for different reasons. And, yeah. I guess that caps my A+ tier. 9.6.
Jack
This
every
is-
time.
I'm just thinking of this. Like, I don't even know what kind of reaction I'm gonna get from this. Then again, I don't know. Okay, the next one is Game of Thrones.
8+?
Dude, yes. And I think that's totally valid. Because that ending...
There's the 8-9 we know.
That ending...
Holy
That was actually
No.
correct.
No.
The
that
8-9 was
ending
right.
was the single worst thing I've ever seen in my life. And I
I
hadn't
agree.
seen it. I hadn't watched it.
I agree.
But I still knew what happened. But even watching it, knowing what happens, still made me hate it.
Dude, I want to throw up on you right now.
Okay. Okay. if
Spoiler,
this-
I have it in my post
Yeah,
too.
well,
so
I don't think that's invalid at all.
Despicable.
I don't think
wanna
that's a
throw
hot take.
up.
The
Did
last-
you sever
the
yourself
last-
when you walked through the door?
Yeah. What the
Oh,
fuck is happening?
Dude, Game
Sever
of
the
Thrones.
first
I'm
Okay,
with Jack
okay,
here.
Game
I'm
of
with
Thrones.
Jack.
I'm saying it as a whole.
I'm
It's
with
A+,
Jack. Yeah,
not
I'm with
S.
you, Jack.
If it were all the good seasons, clearly it'd be S.
I'm
It's not.
disgusted.
No,
right
I'm
now.
with
I'm
Jack.
appalled.
Well, be
I don't-
disgusted
I
with me
don't-
too. It's
I
higher.
am.
but-
I am.
disgu-
I'm
be
going to throw
disgusted,
up on
you know?
both of you.
So
I
you're
think this is
telling me
valid.
that out of the 7 shows you have above it, if you had to erase your memory, you're picking 7 before you can rewatch Game of Thrones for the first time?
Well, no, he's not saying that, but he's saying like the ending was so
Dude, it
bad
was
that
so
he
bad.
can't.
See, but
he
like,
can't in
show
good
had
faith
the
put it
greatest
above
fall
it.
off ever.
dude, the first I can't.
See, because
I'll
no, this is
talk
where
about
no,
it.
this is where the list
I
is getting
knew this
messy
was spark.
because he's being more objective and you
Well,
guys
not
aren't.
even. No,
That's
I'm being,
the thing.
This
I'm
is-
being objective and I'm being emotional.
Yes, I'm the same way. I'm being the same
My
way.
objective
literally
and
can't.
emotional takes on that are that it fell
Comment
off and that
section.
it's
What do you
not
think?
goated.
What do you think?
It's not like S
It's
tier goated.
not goaded.
It's not S tier goated.
No,
Like it's not perfect.
I'm curious.
I
where-
can't wait to hear some of your S tiers. I
You're gonna
can't
love
wait.
my first one,
I can't freaking wait, dude.
and then I have Cyberpunk. I really like Cyberpunk.
Over Game of Thrones.
Well, objectively speaking, yes. Enjoyment wise, no. Like I don't love Cyberpunk as much as other people.
for lunch.
Don't worry, Jack.
Thank God.
Don't worry, Jack. I'm with you.
I did not think these
I'm
were like
with you,
9
Jack.
6s, 9 7s.
I love Cyberpunk.
I don't know
And,
if we can be related anymore.
dude, Cyberpunk
What?
is not over Game of Thrones
Okay,
in any
I-
universe
yeah,
ever.
I
I mean,
mean,
you are
I've
so
seen-
lucky.
Dude, the
Carter
ending just
decided
like disgusted
to
me.
go down to the depths.
The ending of Game of Thrones
Carter.
disgusted me, and half of it
How
was good.
how they're feeling right now is how I felt and
I don't
worse
know.
watching.
Dude,
I don't
even
think
if
it's
even
wrong.
if you include the video game, which is one of my favorite video games of all time, Cyberpunk isn't over Game of Thrones. For me.
Anyways,
I'm saying objectively
Tier list,
speaking,
tier
Cyberpunk's
list.
very short. It's objectively very, very good, very high.
I'm happy that you
We
have
all
it so
have,
high.
Yeah,
we all-
like, I'm-
we have all had hot takes.
And I mean, these are very, very close.
Yes, they're all like yeah.
Game of Thrones gets put down because emotionally and objectively, I just despise the ending.
It's the worst ending of all time, and that's like not.
And that's not even fair to the show because it shouldn't have ended that way.
It's non-fan fiction. That's what it is. It's
Yeah,
not. You
so
can't
it
even call it
shouldn't
fan
have-
fiction.
So
shouldn't
get
have
as
been
mad
that
at George as you are at Tagashi then.
I am. I mean, the thing
Alright,
is,
George.
I'm not as mad at George. I'm as mad at the show writers because they're the ones who did the rest of the show. Yeah, they did it because George wasn't writing, but they also rushed it and all that crap, and it's their fault.
Like you want to put it in S tier, but you just can't.
Yeah, I just can't.
Yeah.
I
Anyways,
I can't.
I disagree, but it's okay.
Amen.
Am I doing 2 or 1? I have 4 left.
2?
Okay, my next 2 are Cyberpunk Edgerunners. That is my 3rd favorite anime of all time. And it's because it tells a story in 10 episodes. Or is it 9 episodes? 9 episodes. That is so dang good. And every second, like we're starting to get in that tier. Every single second, except Game of Thrones, every single second is like a second worth your time and a second that furthers the show and a second that is good. And to me, like that is like the first step in being like something that is truly like special. And Cyberpunk does that as well as any of them. And we've already, like you guys have kind of already talked about like the music and the characters and the world and all that. And I couldn't agree more. And then yeah, the game obviously helps it, but randomly, like I watched the show before I played the game, and then I played the game, and then I watched the show, and it just like is a
And
never
then
ending.
you probably played the game.
And then I played the game, and it's just like it is so good. I wish there was a season 2, but I'm also happy there's not a season 2 because it ended in a
Well,
perfect place.
yeah,
You
there
could
is.
pull an Arcane.
Well, not a season 2, but there is going to be a new Cyberpunk intro.
Yes,
won't be
and I'm,
season
I'm,
2
I'm
though.
all
That'll
about
just be
it.
a
Like
new
I just
show.
mean like a season 2, like yeah,
A continuation.
a continuation. And then next, creeping into my top 5 shows, Avatar: The Last Airbender.
That's not an S?
No.
Oh.
And I think it's not an S and this is where like the objectivity comes in for me. Yeah, I know it's a hot take to Jack. Like I'm with Jack on Game of Thrones.
Oh, it's hot take to me too.
I'm with Jack in Game of
I think the
Thrones.
live action
I'm
will just
not
make
with
you
Jack
has
in
Avatar.
Avatar. This is where the objectivity of it comes into play. They're like 95% of it is a masterpiece, but like there definitely is a little bit that like I can't give. But this is like this is my top 5 shows of all time. Like it is like so good. Zuko is one of my very favorite characters like ever made. I think it's the single like best redemption arc that has ever been made, and the soundtrack is unbelievable. The world is amazing. Everything about it is peak. Every single thing. Like yeah, there's some childish wasting time, and that's what bumps it down a little bit. But it's also only 60 episodes. You can watch the whole show in like a day or two. So it's like I just think like it doesn't overstay its welcome. It does what it means to do, and it does it as good, if not better, than like literally anything that's ever been created. So
Wow. Okay. Amen.
Is it me? Your A+ is done?
no, I have.
No, okay.
Yeah, I've been done.
Okay, I already did Chernobyl. I have Cyberpunk. I feel like everyone's spoken about Cyberpunk. It shot up my rankings though because I watched the show, then played the game, and then watched the show. And I feel like you kind of need the full experience to what's the word?
Sorry to interrupt. It's like watching Game of Thrones before watching House of the Dragon.
Yeah,
If you watch
like
Game of Thrones, it just gives you the world.
Cyberpunk at its full potential is a culmination of the show and game and then show. You know the world
Just
better.
have played the game.
And
I love how we're all in the same boat.
It's
right?
so
Did you have to
relatable. Like after you
play
play
the
the
game and then
game,
watch
it
the
just
show.
makes it so much cooler, and
Same.
it makes David's journey
played
so
the
much
game,
more
it was
epic
terrible.
once you learn about Night City and like what it means to be an edge runner and stuff. Because it's like at first when I first watched, I was like, it's kind of stupid, bro. Why is bro just living to die?
Idiot.
Like, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
But it
anyways,
makes sense.
That's the whole point.
and then all the way up here, my glorious king, Jujutsu Kaisen.
Wow, that's,
Yeah.
See, I think
JJK
that's pretty hot. Like JJK
JJK
over Vinland
is-
is
yeah.
pretty
For
crazy.
me,
No, that's pretty.
Like, dude, from start to finish, I just love JJK.
You do.
I
I
can't disagree
love
with that.
so many characters. There have been some of the sickest fights, the craziest animation. Like, the story doesn't hit as deep as some others, but for me, for taking it what it is, which I do like your typical shonen, like, yeah, there are stories that are deeper, there are more, like, adult, emotional shows out there, but, like, if I want to watch just, like, a fun, like, comedic, super epic, super intense, like, masterpiece of animation, like JJK is just kind of like Demon Slayer, but they do a better job in my opinion. It's not like as there's not as many of the childish clips or whatever, and when there are, I think they're funnier. So JJK for me, like dude, it doesn't get much better like than just a good old JJK watch through. Like it's just so fun. So I have it that high up, and then I have 3 more.
Just round them out.
Okay. Better Call Saul. That's one that no one's seen besides me. So I had to throw it in there because I watched it this year.
Yeah, such a rat.
Freaking rat.
One of our biggest
And-
gripes with Brig this year. Our biggest
and-
fights.
Yeah, but Better Call Saul is just like,
Dude, some people say they like it better than Breaking Bad.
yeah,
Which I think
that's
is
I
egregious.
think that's crazy.
Wow.
I think it's diabolical.
No,
I
have to
think
have
exactly.
one before the
I don't care though.
like Better Call Saul. There is no Better Call Saul without Breaking Bad. Like Breaking Bad makes Better Call Saul. If you haven't watched Breaking Bad and you don't love Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul's not gonna hit. I mean, that's what I think. But that being said, it's very well made. It's a little slow, but then once you get to the final seasons, Better Call Saul's like peak. Like the final seasons are peak, but it's a little slower at first.
That's how
So-
Breaking Bad's, yeah.
Yeah, so I couldn't put it in my top 5, but it's teetering between S tier and the top of A+ or top 3. I have Arcane at the second top. We've gone through it.
Dude, who would have thought, man? I'd have it lower than you at the end of the day.
I'm doing a rewatch right now, which I'm happy to finish, or excited to finish. But I mean, I think we all agree season 1's a little better, maybe a lot better than
a lot
season
better.
2. I think season 2 does have a lot of good things to it, but they did kind of fumble the bag in certain. Like for Arcane, they fumbled the bag. It's still an insanely high quality show. And then I have my glorious Hunter x Hunter at number 6 on my list, which is I made my S tier only have 5, like a top 5, you know.
Same, mine's 5.
So I would consider Hunter x Hunter S tier, but it's not top 5. So I guess it's not S tier. The vibe of that show, the music, my favorite anime
The music
song
is
ever
very good.
by a mile is you guys know the classic. The drums,
Yeah.
the narrator, York knew was peak.
That's your favorite anime
Heaven-
song ever?
Yes, Heaven's Arena peak, and then Chimera Ant Arc was just awesome too. It was a little slow at times, but that anime is just like it's a must watch if you like anime. Like you just gotta go through that journey because it's so fun, it's so unique. Like the world building is so creative, the power system is so grounded, except for certain things, and then you just witness some of like the craziest peaks. And I love a lot of the characters. Like Hunter x Hunter, it's one of the best, man.
Is that your A+?
Nice.
That's my number 1 A+.
Nice.
I'm the last one with A+.
Yep.
Okay. Well, my last
Wait, no, I'm
2.
You.
You have A+ too?
I have 2.
Oh, never mind.
My last 2 is Game of Thrones, which squeaks in at number 4 all time. Number 4. Game of Thrones. Everything in my very soul wants to put this is it. It's the live action counterpart of Arcane. Everything in my soul wants to put this in the S tier, and I just can't do it because I started falling off Game of Thrones a bit earlier than everyone else. But I just think that the first 4 seasons are genuine all-time peak, all-time like arguable number 1. And if it were the first 4 seasons,
It'd be S tier.
I'd be having some weird conversations. But the last 2 seasons really like hurt my feelings, and especially the last season like just broke my heart. It was just so like a spit in the face. But Game of Thrones, like I think about it every single day. That's for sure. I thought about it today. I was walking over. It was cold. I was like, if only I could be in Winterfell, dude, feeling that cold bite, you know. I was just thinking about, you know, Winterfell. I think about it every day. It is all time. Like so many things about it, and it's not even its own fault. Like Jack said, it's not its fault. That the writers were done with it. They only wanted to make it to adapt the Red Wedding, and that shows. And yeah.
Is that
And then-
the top of your A+?
No, the top of my A+ is Vinland.
Nice.
Vinland is my second favorite anime, my number 2. And I just think, like Cannon said, it is a life-changing show. And I would take... Season 1 was extremely good, but Season 2 took it to, like, that next level for me. Because I feel like the message it started with in the first bit that was coded in, like, vengeance and, like, aggression and violence and all that stuff, like, it just took it and just perfectly turned it into a story about, like, reflection and what matters and, like, all that stuff, especially as a man. And so I think, like, yeah, Vinland is a genuine like masterpiece. It's 2 seasons. I can't wait for more, but yeah, I love Vinland. It's my number 3 and my number 2 anime.
Nice.
Number 3 overall.
Yeah,
So you only have 1 S tier?
I only have 2.
Yeah, it's 2.
Jock.
I have Haikyuu, and that's also TBD.
Holy
I love the show.
frick, dude.
Yeah.
That is
Love
That's
the
good
show.
though. I
as
mean,
frick.
same tier as me.
Above-
Same tier as.
I love
That's
the
as high as
show.
Hinata jumps,
Above
bro.
Game of Thrones.
I just can't with Game of Thrones. Like, yeah, if I was the first 4 seasons, it would be.
No,
up
it's
there.
Well, and I think we need to
don't have to
restate that
define
like this
yourself,
this
defend
this
yourself.
isn't necessarily
It's
like
necessarily
what you
even-
like more. It's
Yes,
not-
I
you know?
needed to make that clear at the beginning. Yes, that comes into play because
yeah,
my
sometimes.
list depends on that. So yes,
yeah, like
it
Jack
is.
doesn't like Haikyuu
I
or
did
Game
like
of Thrones,
Like,
but
why
I
would
did
it be
throws-
Jack's list?
Then why is it
wouldn't we-
above?
Why wouldn't we just Google objective lists if we're just gonna do
Like
objective?
this is a mix. I had to clarify that
Well,
at
that
the
would
beginning.
actually put Game of Thrones really high though, because it's like one of the highest rated rated shows of all time. So if it's objective, it would be.
Yeah.
Well, it's subjective, but it's also enjoyment. I already said that.
I know. I'm just saying.
But
I know,
like,
but we can't, like,
I'm saying the
it's
mix
supposed
has to be tighter.
Jack's
Like,
personal list. It's a mix. It has to be
Yeah.
a mix. It cannot be just a.
otherwise, if I did objective, my list would be different.
Anyways,
And then House of the Dragon.
Oh wow.
Good.
I have House of Dragon, and I mean, I
Over Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
I feel like
I
oh
don't-
my
I
god,
don't
over
understand.
Game of Thrones. I did kind of
I
throw
was giving you
Cyberpunk
crap.
in there, so I don't know because I forgot to put it in there. House of Dragon, I think, is just very, very good. It wouldn't be what it is without Game of
Is this your A
Thrones,
plus still?
but it can also just change. Haikyuu, House of Dragon are very like interchangeable right there because we're not even done with them. So, and that's
Nice.
it to my A plus.
Nice.
we are back. We're fed, and we're ready to give you our S tier.
No, I'm ready.
Starting with the goat of Bill Russell himself.
You know
Bill
what?
Russell
At least
Prime.
I'm not the only one. And me and Carter were on the
Bill Russell
same
Prime.
bandwagon.
Carter didn't have House of the Dragon over it, buddy.
House of the Dragon.
Okay, well, House of Dragon
Top
is
of
also
the A
not
plus
finished.
tier.
House of Dragon.
That's the top of my A plus, but it doesn't mean it's over Game of Thrones.
It's also
Yeah,
not
so
over yet.
who's the most wrong, huh?
It'll be more official when House of Dragon's actually over.
That's, I mean, okay.
Objectively speaking, it's much better. Like as a whole.
We'll let the people decide. Maybe I'm crazy.
No, we should
Anyways.
do a little poll.
And if
Whose
they
list
are-
is the best? And we'll post all of our.
Who's hottest
all of
takes
our
are the
lists.
greatest?
I like your cut. It's nice.
Thanks.
Brig literally changed his hair in the middle of this video.
That's
Came back with a fresh cut.
Briggs addressed to impress character.
I had to tighten things down for the S tier.
Well, now, okay. Well, Jack, yeah.
Let me just break the whole tightening down right now. With these next two.
Okay.
No, one of these is
Wait, how many
expected and
is-
one is hot, probably. Yeah.
How many does everyone have in their S tier?
I have 5.
5.
2.
5.
I have 8.
You do 2 then, and I'll do 1.
I think most of these.
I guess you do 2
most of
anyways.
these
it's
were
fine.
already there from last time. First one's Chernobyl. Not surprising. Very, very. It's the bottom of my S tier. Very good show. Basically, like perfect, I guess, but it's also a history thing. So the story you could change, I guess. The way they portrayed it was fantastic. I thought it was great. Very good show. Everyone should watch it at least once.
For sure.
The next one, when we mentioned it, I was like, oh, I haven't ranked that one.
Edge Runners.
No, Erased.
Oh, in the S tier.
S tier.
I
all
really,
right.
really
Wow,
liked
we really
Erased.
cooked Jack. We said, ain't no way this ever S tier anime.
And this could nowhere get
It
this.
is what it is.
Yeah, they were like, these couldn't get higher than an A.
Well, Jack broke
As
the.
soon as
you
we-
broke
as soon
your
as I-
geeks in the
As
matrix.
soon as I remembered I hadn't
Dude,
ranked it, I threw it in S tier.
I love that it's
it
in your
in
S tier, but like when I think about Erased over Game of Thrones, I just can't. I can't.
I mean, that's mostly objectively, but also Game of Thrones just pissed me off too. Like,
I
it
guess.
just fell off, man. It did.
I
It's just
guess.
the facts.
Falling
Erased
off
was
doesn't
peak.
even like
Describe it.
give it justice, bro.
And I just thought Erased was great, and when I thought
Dude.
of the show, I was S tier show. I loved it.
You're gonna hit a small minority of the people that watch this, and they're gonna love you for that. So honestly, a smart business move picking a race as a top 5.
I really liked Erased.
No, I really did too.
And I think
7.
everyone should watch it for like the message that it gives.
I loved it too, man.
It was great.
It was a really good show.
Yeah. Okay.
My 5th favorite show that we watched this year.
Well, kind of a
Well-
channel.
So let me just say, going back to what McKay said, what would he say about like this is my biggest beef you have with your own self? What'd you
this
say?
is
The hottest take
this
on
is my
myself.
hottest take.
This
I have
is
with
the
myself.
okay. This is the hottest take I have with myself as well. Chernobyl at number 5. Now I look at
How
so
is that a
many
hot take?
of these shows because I like Vinland better. I like Arcane better. I like Cyberpunk better. I like a lot of shows better than I like Chernobyl, but I can't look past how perfect of a show it is. I don't know how I can put my. It's like if I had Revenge of the Sith over The Godfather in my eyes. I'm like, I can't do that. Like, as much as I love Revenge of the Sith, I just can't do it. Like,
You're
it
the
would
reverse
make
Jack.
me, like, physically sick. Yeah, like,
You're literally just
like,
reverse
Chernobyl is literally a perfect show. It's just the fact that, like, it doesn't quite scratch those, it doesn't floss my brain in the way that some of these fictional stories does, and even some of the non-fictional ones that have a little bit more excitement to them. But that being said, I did absolutely love it. I rewatched the whole show with my friends, and they all loved it. So it was a great. Like I would take Chernobyl over Oppenheimer any day.
I agree.
Me too.
I don't remember enough about Oppenheimer.
I watched Oppenheimer
That
twice
movie
as
was
well.
such a blur that first watch, dude.
It was a very.
Especially for McKay.
That's
Poor guy.
Should you go or should you wait?
I'll go. My second is Dark. That's my
number 2.
Yeah, it's my number 2. It's
I wonder what number
it's
one
only
Yeah.
it's only one of 2 in my S tier. Last year, I only had 1 in my S tier. Honestly, Vinland Saga was over the course of the year. Vinland Saga was the only one that I genuinely really considered like putting up there. But then I was like, I really want to see like season 3 and kind of see where it goes from there. Like the very top of A+ seems fitting. Dark is just, well, like Ken said, we did a whole hour-long outro about this.
Literally
series,
hour
but
long.
Literally an hour long. It's just from start to finish, every single second serves the show beautifully and perfectly. And while I understand like why like maybe some people get off put by the 3rd and final season, like I just think, you know, like they can like it, they can dislike it, but it's still objectively a masterpiece, and I loved it. And time travel is like one of my very favorite things, and the show executed it to a higher degree than anything else. So I don't know what more I can even say. It deserves more love. And this is going on Studio Gek. We watched it on Cinema Gek. If you are one of our anime viewers and you haven't watched Dark, and just go try it. It deserves
Especially
more
since you
love.
watch anime, you probably watch it in sub, like most people. Like it's a German
Yes.
sub. You should be used to subs. So
It's-
it shouldn't
You'll like it.
cause any-
Just go watch it. I can't say enough, and we said a lot in that outro. So
We did say
Go watch that outro if you've seen the show
Yeah,
and
that's a
haven't
crazy.
seen it.
This is my 5, and it's Dark as well. Well, Dark. But, yeah, I don't think any of us expected to have Dark in our
No.
S tier at all. Like,
No.
it's a top 5 show of all time for me. Like, which is crazy. Yeah, I think what I noticed about Dark is it's like the best, or probably the most impressive casting of like any show I've ever seen. There's like better casting with like Game of Thrones or Harry Potter with like actors that grow up with the show, but Dark has like the most impressive casting I've ever seen.
Like without growing up with
Yeah,
it.
and just like the younger character versus the older. Yeah, crazy good show. Go watch it if you haven't seen it.
Number 5, I'm making a slight audible, but my number 5, beginning of the S tier, is Game of Thrones.
so it fell.
I had it higher up, but I did hear out your guys' argument. I still think you are a lost puppy, Jack.
You are a lost
What
puppy to
about
me
what about
now.
what about
I'm
me?
disappointed.
Because like I had it in A+ tier too, but like it wasn't an S tier, but it also wasn't like below certain things.
Yeah, well, was yours the top of the A+ tier or the second?
It was second A+ tier. It's
See,
behind
like,
Vinland.
technically, yeah, it's like 4th out of every show.
Yeah.
So like,
But like I was
Four?
telling Ken, and I was like, bro,
I'm
you can't like
disgusted.
like a fourth of the show. 2
Dude,
of the 8
actually, I don't
seasons.
know.
is
I'm
garbage.
disgusted.
I don't know. Cause
You
like,
guys just wait. I'm about to fume all over.
well,
This might not
cause
be your, like, number
I just
2
don't know
or
what's
something.
crazy. I don't think I can put Game of Thrones over what I had. So, anyways,
It's fine. It's fine.
I
It's fair.
audible. So Game of Thrones at 5, and Dark at 4. We just spoke about Dark, so Game of Thrones.
Attack on Titan over there.
Almost.
Oh.
Game of Thrones is at 5. Game of Thrones, we all know what's wrong with it. I think it's the greatest fiction ever created, with a little bit of poop on top. But to me, it's still just like the experience of season 1 through 4, even 1 through 6 for me. still carry enough for even that garbage ending. It's still just like it's too high up for me. It's too good, bro. There's really nothing that compares to it. If they finished off, if they had a good ending, it would be the undisputed GOAT for me. Like, so I think that's why it's still at 5. Dark. I love Dark, man. Love Dark. That's all I'll say. Dark's goated, man.
Well, my 4 is Game of Thrones. In S tier, but like my watch, I guess my watch is a little different because I watched it when it was coming out. I watched it in high school.
Yours is 9, buddy.
And so like when the garbage season hit me like in real time and hit like the whole world, like it sucked and like we were all pissed off. But I kind of got over that, and I still love Game of Thrones. I still thought about it, but like I hadn't rewatched it since high school, and the rewatch was like it was unreal. And I came to like love the show again, and I still remembered a lot of the things that happened. I still loved it, but like the rewatch definitely did numbers for me. And despite like the bad ending, I'd already gotten over the bad ending. It still sucked. It still pissed me off, but like it wasn't enough to take it away from like one of my top 5 favorite shows of all time.
Amen, brother. Amen.
Number 4 for
Dude, Canon's number 1 in Game of Thrones.
House of the Dragon's better somehow.
I'm calling it right now.
Yeah, my number 1 is Attack on Titan still. I did a whole thing about it last year.
Watch every video.
It went like randomly like viral on Twitter. And
You went viral on Twitter?
no, not like viral.
Oh, I was like,
just,
what the
I
frick?
like randomly like
This is news to
the
me.
clip of me talking about AOT like got posted on Twitter last year. And like it
Wait, where?
it
I
got
didn't
like a
see
random
this.
amount of likes. It was
Where?
I don't know. I don't even remember how I found it. Someone
Wait.
sent it to me.
If you find that tweet, send it. I have never seen it.
Yeah, I said what I said last year, and it's still there. And it's funny because to bring back Arcane was like what I was juggling with Attack on Titan. Just because I had to give Arcane the respect to wait for season 2, and then I saw season 2, and now, yeah, no, so just go watch the last video. It's just still my number 1, and now my definitive number 1
Yeah, there's no teeter-totter.
across. No more teeter-totter. It's like sad because I wanted to love Arcane so badly, but I can't. I couldn't. So yeah, Arcane my number 1. No, I mean not number 1. Attack on Titan my number 1. No competition really anymore.
Okay, my number 4 is only the second best animated show of all time. Avatar: The Last Airbender. I have a 5-minute long edit of Zuko that I would take over entire shows on this list, and that's not even a joke. That's literally not even a joke. Zuko is top 5 character ever written
Gets me every time.
in all of fiction, and even though Avatar is childish in some aspects, I think that a lot of the messages are lifelong, and just like the emotions it brings out of me skyrocketed up my list. And I don't know, I think it's it stood the test of time. It's been out for 20 years and it's like still huge, and I think that's for good reason. I guarantee you in 20 years I'm going to be watching it.
Still
So
a 9.3 on IMDb, dude. It's like number 5
Dude, I
or
know.
6 all
I
time.
guarantee-
My kids will watch that.
Oh, 100%. I guarantee you I'll watch it in the future. Like, it is
Some of Korra, maybe.
it is goated.
Won't be replicated, that's for sure.
No, it is its own thing.
It's original, and that originality's dead.
No more cup.
Not wrong about this. My next 2 are Dark. I'm so scared.
Wow.
Masterpiece.
You hated that show.
Oh my gosh. Stop. I love the
I
show.
had to get on my hands and knees and beg you to watch it.
You have to do more than that.
Okay. And then Arcane. But despite its downfalls, follies, I still loved it. I still love the second season. And then the first season is a must watch. Like, masterpiece.
Yeah.
If you don't watch that, you are just sick.
I need to rewatch
You
it
are
season
sick.
2 as well. I need to rewatch it
Yeah,
season 2.
all like Succession.
Anyways, yes, I do need that.
But yeah,
maybe
Arcane
I'll
is
feel
goated.
differently. But
Arcane is goated no matter what.
Okay. My number 3, Dark. I was definitely not expecting that at all. Like,
I am honestly surprised too.
no, but I'm saying, like, when it was voted, I kid you not, especially when I heard it was in German as well, I was like, bro, like, are we joking right now? And very, like, by the pilot, I was insanely intrigued. And I've never had a show to this day take me for a ride like that. I had to, every second you have to be locked in. You have to be, like, honestly watching it with a group and conversing helped me a lot because, like, I feel like if you watch it on your own, you'll get left in the dust, like, low key.
I can't even imagine watching it.
Like, and us, like, having to talk about it helped me stay up to date too. Cause you gotta be so locked in, but it's totally worth it if you spend the time to do that. Because, yeah, in terms of writing and storytelling, it's very, very tightly written and very good.
That's the fun thing about Dark too is you can figure it out 3 episodes before they give it to you. But even if you don't have it all figured out, they're gonna give it to you eventually. So you get the picture anyways. But it's such a fun show because you can, like, if you're cooking, you can figure it out. But it's also, like, so hard to figure out that it's okay if you don't know every little thing.
They'll make it pretty clear at some point.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Carter's had
Yeah, I'm all.
I don't know if this is a hot take, but it is. But AOT at 3. AOT is my second favorite anime, but it's my third favorite show. And I think a rewatch could bump it up higher, but I mean, there's really nothing wrong with AOT at all. But like the 2 above it just have a bigger, like, emotional pull for me, and that's in my rankings. That's what changes a little bit. So that's why it's 3.
Well, I also have AOT at 3. I've said it for forever. Objectively, I think it's the best anime. Like, if you just take all of the scores and you add them together, like,
For sure.
AOT does everything right. Especially with some of the other GOAT tier animes, I think it has so much better pacing than a lot of the other GOATs that, like, really sets itself apart. Like, AOT is just from start to finish, you're just getting tossed in the washer, dude. Never stops. You're just spinning until you're clean. But the ending, I mean, I guess the ending isn't perfect, but it wasn't bad. So like I think with a show like that, it's so peak. I don't even know how they could have made, like, a goated ending, just because it's such a
Like the
tragic
story, it's
like such a hard. There's no right or wrong kind of, like, thing to do in that scenario. Like the plot makes it where you're just like, can anyone win? Can anyone, like, be happy? Like,
No, yeah.
like, and that's what makes it so good. But my number 1 anime, which I'll get to, just has a different pull on my soul. But my number 2 is Breaking Bad, which we haven't watched on the channel yet.
Our biggest fight with Brig ever continues.
Honestly, like, it could be number 1, but I put it at 2. But dang, bro, that show is so good. The world that they build there, and it's crazy because it's not like sci-fi. There's no magic.
It's very grounded.
They're just
very
building.
it's a
building
really,
Albuquerque.
Yeah, it's a really realistic show. Like, I'm sure stuff like that happens in real life. I know it does, and it's just crazy how they turned such a normal kind of story into just a masterpiece, bro. It's so good. Some of my favorite characters of any show are in that show. The world is great. That's why Better Call Saul was so good too. Like, I just love Breaking Bad. I can't wait to rewatch.
It's funny I keep saying the world because there's, like, New Mexico.
I know.
The world,
like the community, bro. Like, they made, like, I don't know. So it's my GOAT live action show for sure. And then it's like my teeter-totter GOAT of anything that I've watched. So
I think I'm at 2. My number 2 is Naruto, but I could go into depth, but I already did in our last video. I believe I had it number 1. No, I think I had it too.
Yeah,
No, I had it.
think
I had
it's
it
probably
one.
two.
I had
Arcane
it.
wasn't on
I
my
did one,
list.
but yeah, Naruto's just it's a journey. It's a long journey, but it's an epic journey. And my first time watching it, I loved it. It was my, one of the best shows I've ever watched, and we're rewatching it, and I still love it. So
My number 2
no.
is Game of Thrones. Okay, the Academy Awards and the critics speak for themselves. Highest winning Emmy show of all time besides SNL, and I don't count that. 59 Emmy wins compared to 16 for Breaking Bad. Game of Thrones is... I don't care about the ending, dude. The first 6 seasons are so peak. It's like if you had the best steak in the entire world and it had some leaves on it, so you just scoot them over to the side and you go eat the best thing you've ever had in your entire life. Like, I am so shocked that Game of Thrones fell so much on your guys' list because it is one of one. There will never be another Game of Thrones ever.
There's not.
And I've been waiting to crash out on camera because literally, like, the music, the costumes, the world building, the lore, the actors, like, the morally ambiguous story, like, I just can't, dude.
The thing is with your analogy with the steak and the
Ken,
leaves,
I
is like,
agree.
you can't push the leaves aside. They have to stay there. You
Ken,
have to
I let
eat
the
them.
rats get to me, man.
You have to eat 'em.
I had them.
No, yeah,
Bro,
it's
you can't,
a more accurate
I can't
analogy
not
is
eat the
if
leaves
you
'cause
get
they're
to
red.
eat the best thing you've ever had, but at the end you have to eat a spoonful of poop. Like, you have to. You cannot.
with
You
the little
cannot
dessert
skip
on
it.
top.
Bro, listen.
Yeah,
I
dude,
think
can't.
I
can't.
might prefer
Dude.
some other slightly. I might prefer some other things.
Dude, give me the poop. I'm so serious. I'm so serious.
I mean, maybe
you will
the poop is
never
worth
have
it.
that again. You will. If I told you right now, you will never have that steak again. You will take the poop, dude.
Carter.
You will. I'm telling you right now.
Would you?
yeah, probably,
If I offered you $10 billion, you get to keep for the rest of your life. But when you turn 75, I get cut off one of your legs surgically. Like, you go under, you're fine. I surgically get to cut off one of your limbs. Are you taking the $10 billion right now?
75, dude. That's
I don't know.
75's old. I would do that.
I truly don't know.
You can
Maybe
you can live
I
life
might.
to
And
the
that's
fullest.
dude.
What about you, Cannon?
That's the
I would
thing.
take-
1,000%.
I would
That's
take-
I
Game of Thrones experience,
Dude.
bro. You're living life as a billionaire,
Yeah,
and
me
then
and
you
Carter
get to
still
the
love the
end,
show,
and they
but,
chop your
Dude,
freaking leg off.
I just, the amount of characters that I absolutely love and the amount of, like, peak scenes, dialogue. Like, I have literally rewatched so many moments from the show. I've, like, rewatched the show, at least the first couple seasons, multiple times through. And, dude, I really, truly think there will never be something like Game of Thrones ever again. Ever. Like,
See, and
ever,
that's the
ever,
thing.
ever.
I would agree if
Yeah, I
I
agree.
could say, like,
Dude, the remake. They're gonna make a remake in 5 years.
in my
There'll be
list,
tons.
if in my list one of the terms was I can just skip what I don't want to see, then I would agree.
I'll watch 7 and 8.
But
To get
the thing
1 through
is, I
6.
can't in my list. I can't skip it.
Back-to-back
So-
9-9s, bro. Like, anyways, I've
Try
said
back to
enough.
back to back twice.
Oh, I haven't gotten to my number 1.
I'm just saying.
It is my
I'm
number
just-
2.
I would like to agree with you, but I can't.
And guess what? I think you're a fool for that. I think you're a literal fool.
Number 9 is crazy.
Listen,
Not even number.
it might be a little low on Jack's
Shame.
list, but having it in not S tier, I agree
Like,
with.
having House of the Dragon over Game of Thrones is a literal spit in the face, in my opinion. Like an actual, like, loogie to my face. I'm
Oh,
not even
gosh.
kidding.
I would
House of
agree.
Dragon's not even over yet, though. So like,
Doesn't
that
matter.
one can move around.
Like,
So-
it just doesn't even matter.
Jack
Like,
has like some contingencies in his list.
yeah, I do. Like some of these shows aren't even over.
I
So,
don't necessarily agree wholeheartedly with Jack's list,
They're kind
but
of just chilling.
I agree with like the last two. Like, it's a fourthless show. Like, it's genuine garbage.
Jack?
Like, I
can't tell
Not
you.
even a fourth, but
You're
like,
either about to get
it's not even a
absolutely
true.
cooked
It's not
in
even
the
necessarily a
comments,
true
or they're gonna come to
adaptation
your
of the
defense.
books.
There's no in between.
Like,
Half of it's not even in the books.
Anyways, I love Game of Thrones. My top 5 is not actually my top 5 because there's some shows I've seen them in my own personal time that I would put in there. But
do you have Game of Thrones over Breaking Bad?
yes, I do actually. I know, Brig. I know. I've gone back and forth. I need
As
to
a
rewatch
whole.
a Breaking Bad. But kind of what you said about like the whole like fictional element really amps it up for me because I absolutely love it. And yeah, I've never been more shocked in my life. My sweatshirt, dude, got so hot when Jack said Game of Thrones at like 9. I can't even.
Dude, Bill Russell had to strike back. He
Well, no, and then Carter was next, and I was like, "There's no way this is real life."
For context, anyone that didn't watch our Game of Thrones reaction, season 4, debatably the greatest season in television history.
Oh no.
Jack
Okay, I
gave
get
it
it. I
an
get
8.9
it.
out of 10.
No,
And
in
I
my
had said-
8.9.
I
No,
had since
in my-
said that was a mistake.
And then he
I
has
said
a
I was-
chance to make it right, and he puts House of the Dragon above Game of Thrones.
Okay, as a whole, yes.
Game of Thrones is my number 2. I haven't said my number 1, but even still, like season 4 of Game of Thrones is my favorite season of TV ever.
Would I put,
So,
would I put
Arcane
Game of
season
Thrones
1's
above
The AOT
House
has
of
a
Dragon
10.0,
just
huh?
because I love it? Yeah.
It did.
10.0.
It did for a year.
Did.
Well, anyways,
Because
Jack,
of my hate.
Sorry,
Okay.
One Piece exists.
with my crash
Bre-
out,
Breaking Bad doesn't have that One
Yeah,
Piece.
Game of Thrones tried to review bomb, still is a 10.
Dude, One Piece ruined AOT's
Anyways.
10.
59
Anyways.
Emmys compared to 16 though, like dude, that's literally
is
the
crazy.
craziest thing ever.
Okay, this is top 4. Avatar: The Last Airbender, goated, always will be, and then AOT.
At 3?
3. Yep. Which after you guys saying that, I was like, okay, good. It's not too
what
much of a hot take for me to say that.
Dude, now I just literally just want to spar Jack. You know?
I love AOT, but it's also not my like.
Well, we know what your goal
Favorite-
is. That's
favorite.
fair.
I'm so curious
Show.
what the comments are gonna say.
Ever.
No, literally.
My number 1 is
The ending too was like, no, my favorite obviously. But
Yeah.
not a lot of people's favorites.
my number 2 or my number 1 is AOT. Like even as much as I love Game of Thrones, I don't think as many rewatches as needed. It will never change. Like I think
the rewatch will go crazy though.
you compile every piece of literature ever made and give it to a quantum computer and tell it to write a better story, and it won't be able to, in my opinion.
No, the moment when Cannon told me is AOT, like we were like standing in line somewhere, and he was like, is Attack on Titan like a better story than like Lord of the Rings? And I was like, dude, it might be. Like, and it was like when we were watching
We
the
weren't even
show,
done.
we weren't even finished yet. And Cannon, like, we were in like season 2, and Cannon's like, could this be like your favorite thing ever? I was like, bro, it maybe could. Like,
I don't know.
and I had,
Dude, I
we
know.
hadn't
We
even
didn't
like
even have
gotten to
any
the meat
idea.
yet, and
I don't
like
know.
we were also like, it was the first anime I'd ever seen, and I literally despise it's.
Bro,
I
you
forget that
you
this was the show I
refused-
hated on. Mo,
You
like more
refused
than
me for
anything.
years.
I know, because
Dude,
like I told
like-
people, I'm like, if you watch that show, like
You guys made fun of us
The-
in the group
oh,
chat.
dude, I know.
You guys called us.
This is literally like if someone said, "Dude, this
It was the biggest
claymation,
change
this
of heart of all
claymation
time.
movie is the best thing ever written." And
it's
I was
better
like,
than The Godfather.
And I was like, no way. And then I actually liked a claymation movie the best of all time.
Me
Like,
staying
that's
up
how
till
much I
5 a.m.
freaking hated anime. And then, like,
Me staying up till 5 a.m. was a joke to you guys.
It, dude, not only was it a joke, I like.
That was one of the greatest
I was like,
nights
wow,
of
Jack.
my life.
We have
I'm
like,
so
we had
disappointed.
like
Dude.
Gohan trying to.
Demon Slayer AOT Sundays, I don't like. Besides Destiny 1, like
no, that's a good comparison.
like besides Destiny
If any of
1,
you know.
which is just like a 15 out of 10 experience. like there's nothing on this planet that could give me what Destiny did. But
He's getting married.
Riley's
like 2
calling.
weeks.
Oh my god.
but AOT Sunday with Demon Slayer, dude, like I can't even explain to you what that
Peak
was like.
existence.
Or just
Peak existence.
like turn on the TV, just on your feet, dad, and then the next it's just like Tengen against Geass. Like, dude, I was going in I was getting a trance, dude. Good times.
I can't even.
But yeah, number 1, Attack on Titan. Enough said. Yeah, wait for the rewatch.
I hope that there's something that is created that like gives me fits. You know, like I'm like, could this
No,
be better
dude,
than Attack
same,
on Titan?
bro.
Like, could this actually
I
be
doubt
better?
it.
Like, I hope for that.
I thought
like,
that with Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones could have for me 100%.
All right, buddy, time for the scorching hot take.
This is my honest take, but I have Arcane. at
Yeah, I
one
don't think
instead.
that's what I thought.
I don't think it's a hot take
No,
if
it's
you
not.
like.
No,
I like season 1. Like I have the painting in my room. Like I the rewatch. We rewatched it 7 times or 6 times in the summer, and I just, despite like what season 2 did, I just can't take away from that. And it should, objectively, it should. But then season 2 got really good rankings, so you could say like, oh, it's better, even though it's not better. But like the emotional pull, and then just like the writing in season 1 was just too perfect to take away from that number 1 spot. And it's not like season 2 didn't. It didn't do enough to like it didn't feel like season 1, so I kind of like push it away from season 1 and like, oh, season 1, like that's Arcane to me. But even season 2, like season 2 is still like it was great. It was really cool to watch. It was like the animation was beautiful, but like Arcane, just the world and the show, like it always be up there. You can't take it away.
How you know the difference, dude, is by this time after season 2 released, me, Jackson, and McKay would be on our 5th rewatch of season 2 right now. That's how you know.
Dude,
like
McKay,
we literally
we
in
probably
this
would
amount of
rewatch
time,
it.
we would have watched the show probably 5 times now.
I feel like we got on Arcane before like the majority did.
Oh, you guys did, bro.
So,
Like I hadn't
maybe
even
that
heard of
has,
it
like
when you guys showed it to
I
me.
had actually watched the first couple minutes, and I was like, this looks really interesting.
Dude, if
but not
Jack-
really my thing.
If Jack got into like investing, he would find these coins before anybody, dude. 'Cause
Anyways, my glorious king, sitting at the top yet again, is Naruto. Naruto. I have many things to say about this show. I know it probably seems like a hot take to the couch currently, which is fine. I definitely think a lot of things about the show. I think one of the things is it is meant to be binged. Like every person, I was reading this comment section last night actually.
Where?
On TikTok. And it was just talking about like, it was like me 5 years ago watching 20 episodes a day of Naruto. Like my life had never been better. And the comments were like, 20? I was watching 40 a day. Like it was like, and I'd been
10
there, bro.
hours?
Yes,
No
I've
life
been there.
in.
I literally watched like 30 episodes a day for like 5 days straight.
Days
Like
of
I
it.
literally just could not stop watching it. And I think that Naruto is definitely a binge. Like a binge does it a lot more justice than like a structured watch through, I guess. And that's fine. I understand the problems it has, especially in OG in the beginning of Shippuden. But I'm really interested to see your guys' thoughts in a year from now, after we probably will have watched all of it or most of it, right?
I think we'll almost be done.
But we'll have seen like most of the peaks of the show, and for me, Naruto, once the whole story comes together, it elevates for me a ton. Like if I were to just erase my watch through and talk about our current watch through, like it wouldn't be my number 1. Like I can see the flaws, the pacing, stuff like that. But I think when like the turnaround of it is just immaculate. No show has ever like pulled my heartstrings like Naruto, and just like the story and the characters. Like I love Naruto. So yeah, that's my goat, man. I don't see it changing either.
You are the only one, Jack.
Put on the hat,
I
buddy.
am the one in the honored one.
Put on the hat.
Yeah, my number 2 is One Piece.
Oh. Alright.
What do you guys think is my number?
I did, actually.
What's left?
You'll have to see.
What?
You'll have to see. But just talking about One Piece.
Violet Evergarden?
I obviously am not finished with the show. I don't watch a lot of it nowadays. I wish I had like more time to just watch it, but also there's a lot more to watch. And maybe we'll just catch up to me. Who knows?
Great.
But the world and the characters and rewatching it especially just makes me appreciate it even more, because I'm like, dang, there's so many things that are put into the show that I didn't even realize that relate and are tied into the end and where I'm at, and it's just crazy. But I love the show and the world and the characters. It's so unique, and Oda cooked. And my number 1 is Vinland Saga.
Alright.
The show
I
you
didn't
quit.
even realize.
No, I really
actually
loved
epic.
Vinland Saga, and the end of season 2 just like I don't even know. I remember when we watched it, it just felt like
New man.
unreal, or like new man. Like I was just thinking differently. Like Thorfinn, his whole like ideology.
I remember that, dude.
Just
I
I,
remember.
was like, dang, this makes
Jack
me
started
like.
to become like nicer.
It was really. Oh my gosh. No, it was like really human. The show is like it's really grounded enough that you feel for him. You feel for the characters. It's really human nature and human. Like it just relates with the grittiness of being human and the mistakes you make and just crap, like just crap of life and things they have to deal with. It's just so real. That's it kind of edges over AOT because of that for me, because it's just more like realistic and more relatable. But then also the lessons like you learn from the characters are just so good.
I feel like AOT and Vinland like couldn't be more different in that way. Like AOT's like plot is so grand and so like crazy, and then Vinland is like so personal and so closed. You know,
It's very intimate. Yeah.
And I really hope with season 3, and I don't know if there's more after that or not, but that
well,
it's
dude,
just so
Vinland
good.
is known as like one of the big 3 of manga for a reason.
Berserk and
Or a big
Vagabond
4,
and stuff like that.
yeah. Dude, if only Berserk could get a freaking anime.
Get what
Pretty
I
good, Bill.
I didn't
You
even
ended
know.
it off decent, Bill. That's
So-
the Studio Gag
My rap.
Yes.
24 wrap.
What we're gonna do? We're gonna obviously post this video, and we're gonna have little pictures above us and whatever Carter wants to throw in there. But I would love to do a little poll in the comment section and see who has the best list in your guys' opinion. We have now how many anime?
We're
How
due
many?
for a rewatch.
How many anime have we watched? We watched 1, 2,
How many anime?
19. We watched 20 anime. And I don't even know if that counts all of them. We probably watched like 25 animes like over the last 2 years. Like 2 years ago, we hadn't even... At this time, 2 years ago, we were starting the channel. At this time, like 1 year ago, we had barely cracked like 10. It's pretty weird. Like we've watched like 25 shows, 25 anime in like
Crazy.
2 years.
Well, even it's better than most live action too. It's like live action is a big deal.
It's
Still cooking.
It's weird.
Yeah, I don't know.
I like.
You're
It's.
now
I still
cultured.
feel like a novice, but bro, 20 is a decent chunk. Anyways,
No, we've watched like we can weeb out low key.
We're kind
If
of
you made it this far in the video, I
we
freaking
haven't
love
watched
you.
like this. Hey, this nerd right here with the glasses, he's gonna shut up.
Don't be intimidated, Squidward. Try to imagine him in his underwear. Oh no, he's hot!
領域展開 天上天下唯我独尊
I'ma pick it up.